All right,
Get
this
her
is
to make some
episode.
for you while you're at it.
I had oatmeal earlier. I don't want whatever she's making. This is episode 440 of the 3G podcast, and there is a fuck ton of news and updates. Video games. I want to talk about
changing announcements.
Life-changing. Well, we'll get on that. I've got an asterisk on life-changing. May or may not be true. NFL draft.
For fuck's sake.
I want to talk about that a bit. Some games I've been playing that I can finally talk about, including one that
is no surprise to anybody.
Well, technically didn't exist before. Wait, are you talking about Oblivion?
No.
Okay. I mean, it shouldn't be any surprise. So, I am done with my salary position at Gamer Guides. I was given a DM by Sophia on Monday saying that they're not bringing in enough money to continue my contract into May, and blah, blah, blah. It's nothing about your work. It's excellent. Which is true because, not to toot my own horn, but March was probably my most productive month in years, and I actually feel like a jackass for working so fucking hard, which is just usually how things go. I will say this, though, like, she had a freak out years ago, and last time she fired me was on Thanksgiving, by the way, so she's got a knack for this. She had a freak out, like, it was right before Red Dead 2 launched, or we were working on Red Dead 2, something like that. I'm not good with dates, but I know Red Dead was, like, the last project at that time, and then, you know, she's like, oh, it's not bringing in traffic, we might go in an esports direction. It's like, yeah, no, and I do no esports coverage. And then, like, they call me back some months later. I go to Neoseeker. They call me back some months later and ask me to do a Final Fantasy VIII guide, and I do it, and then they hire me full-time to a salary contract, whatever. You know, that's just the way things worked last time. I know that she's got a lot of money invested in stocks. I know she's got a lot of money invested in stupid fucking stocks. And I know a lot of people have lost a lot of money investing in stupid fucking stocks recently. So that might be what this is about, because, you know, the fucking stock market does buoy Gamer Guides to an extent. I don't know how much. I don't want to get involved in personal finances, but I know that's a thing. So, like, right now they are gloating about how their traffic is doing on site, which, not the best feeling in the world. Like, we can't afford to pay you, but holy crap, the last shit you did is getting us, like, the best traffic we've seen since Baldur's Gate 3, which is also another thing I did.
I feel like I need to repeat myself.
So,
okay,
I'm off salary work for them, so I'm open to go back to Neoseeker. We're doing that AI Somnium Files guide, and I will do whatever the fuck else comes across.
That's new news to whoever may be listening.
Yes, it's not just our visual novel book club. We're turning that into money. And you said Howard asked if we were going to do the third one. Fuck it, let's do all three, for all I give a shit, right?
Yeah, I don't care, but
we're
getting paid nothing for this first one.
Well,
for the record.
Well, I told you to get that contract before I knew I was out of fucking job, right? It was like first.
But to be fair, I sent it before I knew that too.
No, I'm not. It's a miscalculation, but it wasn't a miscalculation on the information we had at the time. So it also gets my foot back in the door with Neoseeker, so I'm not going to really complain too much.
Yeah, what can you do? Like, timing is a thing.
Yeah, so is what it is. There have been rumors about an Oblivion remaster coming out for weeks now. And sure enough, it comes out, and they want to sign me to another, like, week-long contract at what's basically my old rate, doing, I don't know, for some reason they've decided that guide pages don't get them traffic anymore, even though Expedition 33 guide pages are currently right now getting them a lot of traffic. And so they want us to write guide pages that are map adjacent, i.e. lots of links to their interactive map, which, whatever the fuck, I've already, like, we've done that shit in, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I was doing map work on Xenoblade earlier in the month, so it's like, whatever, I don't give a fuck if you want me to put map links onto a guide I normally write anyways. It's, you know, whatever. Nothing I haven't done before, so, yeah, they can't pay me the old salary, but god damn it, when there's a need, they can sure find some money in the couch cushions to get me to do some more work. So, whatever.
It's almost like they let you go at the wrong time.
Maybe. That's
Because
an
they
opinion I'm.
immediately turned around and hired you for another week. Base is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm not burning bridges. I need the fucking money. It's a distressingly large portion of our household income. If you think Rebecca being a mental health professional with a college degree is making a vast sum of money more than I was doing what I was doing, you would unfortunately be mistaken. So I've got a mortgage to pay. I've got corgis to feed. So I'm totally open to going to Neoseeker and taking work from them. It won't pay as well, but you know what? In the long run, it might actually be the more stable gig. That's not entirely fair. This will be like my 52nd invoice I send them for salary. So that's over 4 years of what 4 years and a third of doing this. So I made some okay money doing this at Gamer Guides. Maybe they will calm down financially and I will go back, but we will see. I'm not sure I'm willing
Stock
to
market's going to rebound.
Well, who knows? You know what? We're about to see
always has.
We're about to see shipments, the new post-tariff shipments come in, and we'll see what the prices of shit on Walmart shelves are in a week or two. So we'll see. There's a big we'll see with the economy right now, but you know what? Anything can happen, but I think at this point I want to invest more in Neoseeker just to protect myself from panics. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see what gigs I can get, but yeah, right now I'm working on Oblivion guides, and they're map adjacent stuff, right? So it's like not my usual stuff of talking about builds, but I am writing pages about like where to find all the bandit dungeons, how to farm them for, like bandit ringleaders will drop leveled, sometimes enchanted light armor, writing about the Daedric shrines. It's actually closer to the work I like doing than the shit I've been doing for a while. So
and none of that is probably changed, right? So like all info is currently already known.
Let's
There's
talk
no
about
way
Oblivion.
Daedric shrines have changed.
No. So Oblivion Remastered got shadow dropped. What was it? Tuesday, and was it Tuesday? I can't remember. I think it was Tuesday. And I think they announced that it was going to be dropped on Monday, and then we got the actual show, which I didn't watch. I didn't actually watch it because I honestly don't care. I heard that it was for sale, and I was like, you know what?
Digital only too, right?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Limited Run Game will do something. They like Pentiment was digital only at first. Grounded was digital only at first. Maybe Limited Run will do something. Can't rule that out. Hopefully they wait until there's some patches, but I'll get to that. I just got fired. I need to be responsible with money. I canceled all those Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering purchases I made, and a lot of subscriptions, just tightening the belt as it was.
Those were expensive.
Those were expensive, and the money didn't come out yet, and it's just not something to waste money on right now. But I was like, you know what? I've been working too much for 4 fucking years. I deserve one last thing, and I decided I was going to go buy Oblivion Remastered, and I had a bunch of like those the PS Point stuff to redeem for.
You bought it before you knew you were going to work on it.
Yeah, but also
how serendipitous.
I was pretty certain I was going to work on it. Okay, not my first goat fuck, so I figured there's a pretty good chance. Before I go on, what monsters do I need to be looking for crown wise? So I can at least do a little, so I'm not just running around in circles, because that's what I'm doing right now.
I need a small new Udra, but I'll probably just farm him out, because I need that Apex Predator trophy. Let me see what else. Because I gotta get away from this monster.
Because I found you 3 at the end of last podcast. That should have done something.
It was actually beneficial at the end.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Nathan wasn't the only one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm inclined to believe them when they say that it's not about your performance. Trust me, I believe that. I've seen other guide writers, right?
Blanganga, either Blanganga, large Guardian de Shigma, small Arkveld, small new Udra, small Zuwu. That's a good start, I think.
Blanganga. Okay. See, I don't know what Jared's situation was like, but yeah, he whatever contra. But he's also in the same boat too. He's doing Oblivion work as well. So.
Oh
pretty
Jesus!
It's pretty much the same message.
Okay.
It's like nothing's changed.
Yeah, and here's
well, you know
the
what?
thing.
We just need to revisit this next week and see if anything's changed, huh?
And here's the thing: they want they've got 3 people working on the Oblivion map. I don't know what their status is. I haven't asked. I don't particularly care. And they've got 5 fucking people doing guide pages. There's not that many guide pages. And there's somebody, not Jared, but there's somebody else who's never played Oblivion before asked me, in DM, so how do I, you got any advice for me? I've never played this before, blah, 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 blah. I'm sitting there thinking, why are you even on this? What are you going to, this isn't a game with a small time commitment overhead. You can't do everything as soon as you're out of the Imperial City prison, right? As soon as you're out of the sewers, you're not ready to go and complete every quest in the game. Some of them have level requirements. Some of them you're just not going to do well because you can't fucking sneak effectively.
Like you were talking about with the lockpicking and the skeleton key, you need to be level 10 at least to get the quest for it.
I thought it was 12 for the longest time. Oh, well, whatever. So yeah, there's, whatever. I've been playing the game before I was told to do anything on it. This is my consolation game right now, and so I'm level 32. I've got every map marker uncovered. I am quite possibly the only person working on it that's in a prime position to write the kind of okay, to be fair, there's some stuff you set the difficulty to the lowest. You're probably not going to get killed by almost anything in the game. You can go find things on the map and write pages about them. So it's not like you can't do anything, but about half the pages you're going to need to make some progress to get through. What am I looking for? There's a new Udra here. I don't care if Greg told me not to look for it. It's here. I'm going to look at it.
It's not I imagine they're still going to have people working on some stuff for Expedition 33.
Yeah, so I'll get to that in a bit. I want to, since we're talking about Oblivion, I'll talk about Oblivion first. Oblivion was the first Elder Scrolls game I played. I remember back when it came out, I had just gotten an Xbox 360, so I didn't play it new, but it wasn't too out there. I'd say it's about maybe 6 months after I got my Xbox 360 I was playing. It's been a while, I can't remember. 2007-ish was when I was playing it. And it was, I didn't play any Grand Theft Auto games at that time, so I think this was my first, real open world game. I tell you what, I didn't play a lot of first-person games on console before, Halo and Oblivion were the first 2 I really remember playing a lot of, and I used to use a control scheme called Southpaw, and I can't even tell you off the top of my head how it works, but there's...
Southpaw as in you're left-handed.
Yeah, I know what that means in boxing, but obviously that isn't what it means in, video game controls.
It's probably designed with that in mind. No?
It has to do with your analog sticks. You use one analog stick to, move the camera up and down and look around and shit, and you use the other analog stick to move, and can't remember how it was, but I didn't like to use it the way I normally... I'd always switch to the Southpaw controls when I got the chance. I honestly can't remember. Well, now if I need to be playing a first-person game to tell you what the difference is, but whatever you press to move the camera and strafe sideways, I think Southpaw has that on one button, right? If I'm remembering correctly. So you would look up and down and strafe side to side with the same button. And then with the other button, you would turn your camera and move forward and back. And for some reason, maybe it's just because I played so many first-person PC dungeon crawlers back in the day, that's how I like to control things. When I get Oblivion, they don't got that option. You're playing the game the way everyone else is supposed to use these controls. And so Oblivion was a game that forced me to stop using Southpaw at great effort, and start using the normal control scheme that's basically the default for every first-person game. So that kind of shows you how
Oblivion taught you how to play games.
Well, I mean, I beat Oblivion on Legendary. It's like I couldn't play games. It's that I, preferred a weird control scheme for it. But Oblivion, yes, made me play, I guess it's a good thing, because every game just uses that by default. I'm not sure how many even let you switch to Southpaw anymore. But yeah, this is how early into this whole 3D open world first person gaming I was at the time when this game came out, that, it was literally the game that made me change my preferred control scheme to what's the standard. So, it's getting new to a lot of shit. It was my first Elder Scrolls, first open world game, first open world first person game. And I thought it was pretty good back in the day. I thought it was pretty good. There's a lot of jank going on. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. I'm trying to learn all the controls for this shit again. How do you get to your map? I can't remember how to do this was anymore. I just did it too, so I don't know, I can't remember the controls. Probably because I've been playing with games that have actual functional controls instead of Monster Hunter. But, Elder Scrolls Remastered decided to give you pretty much a warts and all remaster of Oblivion. If you hated Oblivion on the Xbox 360 or PC back in the day, you will hate the remaster, because they didn't change very much. I swear they made leveling faster. That could just be me. I remember shit taking a lot longer to level up, and
that's something.
I'm going to be a little bit conceited here and say I'm an authority on Oblivion, especially when it comes to leveling. I wrote a guide about it back in the day. I got to 100 in every skill and attribute without using a trainer. It was a pain in the ass. I learned the hard way which skills you should put as your major, which skills you should put as your minor, and how to go about leveling shit up. Why can I not remember how to use the fucking map all of a sudden? Is it just... Okay, there. Jesus Christ.
Try Southpaw.
Yeah, that's not working. So, okay, now this thing is tracked. Right, gotcha. Forgotten all the controls for this fucking game already. Like a week. Speedrunning the ability to forget video game controls. The graphics are improved, but I should say that they wanted to keep the Oblivion character models looking like Oblivion character models. Some of the
graphics are night and day, no?
They're much better, but a lot of the models have not been heavily... The artistic vision is the same. Problem is, the artistic vision was... with the original Oblivion. Some of the Red Guards look a lot better than they used to look. A lot of the Imperials, Bretons, Elves of various types still look fucking weird. They still very much look like Oblivion characters. It is not...
They have that, staring through a fish bottle, fisheye face.
Some of them, yeah. It's still virtually impossible to make a decent looking character in character creation. They still got, all the races, they've still got the birth signs, they might have changed some of the birth signs, I can't remember. They still have minor and major skills, but the one big change they've made is it doesn't matter what you level up or when you level it up, everything now just contributes to a level up bar. And when you level up...
So there's no minor and major anything anymore?
There is, but all that determines now is your starting stats in them and how fast they level up. You gain more level up experience from major skills than you do from minor skills, and they increase faster. But you don't only level up when you, max out get 10 points in major skills. Everything contributes to leveling up, and when you do level up, you just get 12 points to spend. It doesn't matter if you never leveled up strength once in the past level, you can put 5 points into strength if you want. The only real, odd thing they did is luck now takes 4 points to raise it by a point, where previously I think it took 5. But whatever. It's so if you're like super min-maxy on paper, you're a little bit weaker in the remaster than you would have been in the original, but you had to know exactly what you were doing and plan things out in exhausting detail. And I mean, make a fucking spreadsheet so you knew when you were going to level shit up. Which I did before in the past. Some things are still a little odd. Like, I think endurance is the only stat that doesn't give you retroactive boosts. So you still want to level up endurance first, because I still think endurance gives you an amount of, like, a varying amount of health each level. So the faster you max out endurance, the more health you'll gain every time you level up. But the developers said they also changed enemy scaling. So that might compensate for the fact that you technically get 12, or like 3 points less on paper than you used to. On normal difficulty, I can't remember what it's called anymore. I haven't found it really difficult at all. Is it Adept?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching somebody play, like when it first came out, because I didn't buy it yet, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
They started on master difficulty, and they're like, no, fuck this.
Well, the difficulty in Oblivion, and I think Skyrim are just kind of stupid. It's just a multiplier to the damage you deal and the damage you take. So it doesn't change rewards, it doesn't change really anything. You just deal more damage and take less if you're on a lower difficulty. So now, messing with the difficulty used to be a very important part of an Oblivion playthrough, because sometimes you didn't want to go fuck with things that were too dangerous. You just wanted to, like, go punch a mud crab a bunch to level up your unarmed when you're low level. So you change it up to master difficulty. You can kite mud crabs. They're never going to hit you if you don't want them to. And just sit there and swing at them. Or the enemy AI was so bad, maybe you just go, like, jump on a pillar and get them stuck somewhere, and then you can just sit there and shoot them with a bow until you got tired of it, or ran out of arrows, or they died, and you would, set the difficulty up to master, because they weren't going to be able to hit you. In Skyrim, they got smart, and if you, like, ran somewhere where they couldn't reach you, they would just run away and hide behind something, so you can just sit there and shoot at them. But this is Oblivion. They did not make that better, or worse, as your opinion may vary. It is Oblivion with all the exploits. They even left the fucking mistaken voice line in there where one of the voice actors is reading something, and
should I go again or something?
No, it's a chick. It's like, yeah, it's a chick, and she's like, let me do that again, and she starts the line again, but a bit better. And they left that in there. This is Oblivion, as you remember it, but prettier, and slightly less prone to suffer from memory leaks.
Yeah, I saw a video, like, of the one, I think it's a Kaji. He asks you for like 100 gold, and you give it to him, and then you can steal it right back.
Yeah, every exploit is in the game. I haven't gone 100% chameleon to see if that's still there, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I've just been wandering around, leveling up, discovering stuff, and did the pages on the bandits and marauders, and then I'm pretty much done with the Daedric Shrine. So that's pretty much the only thing I've done, like, quest-wise. I still have to go to the Priory to give the Amulet of Kings back. Hey, it doesn't matter. I'll get to it when I get to it. It's not like fucking Oblivion's gonna fucking appear before I'm ready.
Going slow. I did a page on how to start the Shivering Isles DLC.
So how do you like the game so far, Jared?
I mean, it says its combat is shit, but I mean, that's besides the point.
It's a game that probably would have struck you better back in 2007.
Have they changed the combat at all?
They changed marksman, like, archery to be more Oblivion style, which means
Oblivion style?
Or not Oblivion, Skyrim style. So bows are just easier to control, much of a pain in the ass. They improved bow combat, everything else is the same. If you're fighting two enemies and they have shields and one of them blocks, it will count your weapon as getting blocked no matter what, so enemies standing next to each other is still kind of a chore. Really the only difficult thing in the game... Well, that's not fair. I still don't like Spriggans. They're still nasty. But I've kind of leveled past them. Like, I'm mastered in destruction now, so I can just, throw high-level fire magic at shit that needs to burn.
Yeah, I haven't done too much.
What level are you, Jared? Do you remember?
I haven't done too much. Like, I'm like level 5 or something.
Okay. You know what? I owe Bethesda and Oblivion an apology. I remember this game being good, but I am enjoying the absolute fuck out of it this playthrough. I think it came at the perfect time. Like, my nostalgia for a Skyrim remaster was pretty peak. Not Skyrim. Oblivion remaster was pretty peak. And for some reason,
you just can't get the two of these games separated in your head.
Yeah, they're living in the same space. Well, it's because I'm going to talk about Skyrim here in a bit. For some reason, at least in my brain, when Skyrim came out, it convinced us that Oblivion wasn't that good. Skyrim was leagues better. And replaying Oblivion, I'm not that sure anymore. I'm not that sure. Like, there were some things...
You were always anti-Skyrim quest lines.
The Skyrim quest lines are bad. They're just worse. I kind of like the designs of the cities better in Oblivion, but it's not like a huge thing. They've got okay cities.
The Imperial
in Skyrim,
City
too.
is bigger than anything Skyrim has. No,
well, it's just nice
crazy?
that you've got the it's supposed to be bigger. I don't know if it's actually if you're like measuring out every square meter how big they compare, but there's just more. Some of the cities stand out more from each other than they do in Skyrim. And that's nitpicking. I'm not like flipping back and saying, actually Skyrim sucked. If you are trying to honestly fucking tell me that your first dragon encounter wasn't epic as shit in Skyrim, you're fucking lying. You're a fucking liar. Oblivion would be better with dragons. That's just a fact.
Most things would be better with
Most things would be better with dragons.
As is tradition.
But, like, Oblivion had some things going for it. The world is very nice. It's actually smaller than I remember it being. Like, our idea of what a big open world was has changed a lot.
Yeah, well, since what, 2004?
2006 is when it launched, but about 20 years.
Let me say, this is pretty much my first Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
I had played 2 hours maybe of Morrowind back on the original Xbox. I hated it.
I don't blame you. When did you play that? Was it contemporaneous at the time?
Probably, maybe like a few years after it came out.
Okay, because I tried to play Morrowind. Like, I liked Oblivion a lot at the time. And, time goes on, you get hyped for Skyrim, you play Skyrim, you're like, oh my god, they got rid of that terrible leveling system. We can finally admit it was a terrible leveling system. They got rid of it. Good. I don't want to fucking make spreadsheets in my video games. It's good for guide writing, but if you just want to play the fucking game like a normal person, you don't want to do that. And I try to go back to Morrowind, because when I like a series, sometimes I like to go and backfill the old games that I missed. I couldn't. It was too janky. It was too ugly. It was too obtuse. I don't care if that makes me like a superficial gamer. I couldn't get into it.
That was also pretty much the first time I ever played like Western RPG too. So it wasn't like I was used to it, the systems. So it was weird. I still haven't played too many Western RPGs, but I mean I've played a few and I've watched.
You played Fallout 3, so it's not like you're just totally lost when it comes to this.
Yeah, I played Fallout 3. I played Alpha Protocol. That's about the extent.
No, you're not wrong here. Like, I was already a CRPG veteran at the time, and I can't go back to Morrowind. I don't know. Maybe if I found like a complete, hey, do this in these steps, asshole guides, I'd be able to fucking get past the beginning parts. It's not like anything was too hard. It's just, there's something annoying every 10 steps in Morrowind, right? There's a ghost you can't deal damage to. There's slaughterfish that hit you too hard. I can't even sit in the first village and grind up the way I like to do because you start out too shit at anything. And there's people that are just masters at this game, and they can tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong and get me started. I'm sure of it, but I just never wanted to put that much effort in. So, Oblivion was the first one I really put time into. I really enjoyed it. I beat it way back in the day. Did like 100%ed it twice. I'm primed to do this again. I'm going to go get this platinum. I'm going to do everything.
Yeah,
Because it's at that point. No, like the
it's
trophy list is the same, by the way, Greg.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
good to
as
know.
as long as you do all the factions and do the main story.
you're getting
Platinum.
a plat, pretty much. Yep. So there should be a pretty easy platinum. $50 is kind of steep, but it's a Bethesda game. It'll go down in price if you let it.
Well, it's definitely a lot more appealing than fucking Mario Kart for $80.
Well, you said it. You said it. So I don't find Mario Kart appealing at all. So maybe it means something when Jared says it. But I am enjoying the shit out of Oblivion remastered. Warts and all the jank. I don't know if it's crashing on you a lot, but it crashes on me 2 or 3 times a night.
It hasn't crashed once yet.
What? How are one of you 2 or 3 times a night?
Because
And the
I'm
other
level
one hasn't
32
seen
and
it.
I've got a house and I've uncovered every map marker and I've
I'm
got
only
stashes
level
full of
5
shit.
and I've barely done much.
You let that fucking save game file get up in size and we'll see how things are going.
The PS3 era all over again.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I will say the performance is kind of shit. It frame
noticed
drops a
some-
lot even on performance mode.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I don't even know if I have it set for performance mode or not.
I mean, the game's so ugly either way. They've also got some weird bugs, like the one bug that I've noticed. I looked it up online because I wanted to see if I was just doing something wrong or whatever. If you cast a light spell, it won't actually light anything up near you. You have to look straight at the ground, and then the light spell will start to work, and it'll remain working until you zone out or the spell duration ends or you recast it. So that's a little weird. I'm assuming they're going to fix that, but that's like one of the big bugs I've encountered so far. Is
Yeah, I've heard the Xbox version has already gotten a patch.
okay, so maybe it's coming in. They've already announced that there's 2 million players that hit 200,000 concurrent on Steam. So apparently, I'm not the only one who
4
wanted some
million.
Oblivion. What's that?
4 million.
4 million?
Yeah.
Wow, Jesus. So this game is doing all right. I give it a hearty thumbs up. I'm fully primed and ready for this. Maybe I'm biased because it's just hitting that comfort spot right now. So
Yeah, I mean, most of what I've heard is that the gameplay in Skyrim was good, but the stories and writing was a lot better in Oblivion.
yeah, especially when you get to stuff like the Dark Brotherhood. I actually like the Thieves Guild writing too. Thieves Guild writing. Greg, just get ready to go and roll your eyes.
Here we go.
Thieves Guild in Oblivion is good, pretty good. Thieves Guild in Skyrim is bad. It's really bad. Like, if you really stop and think about anything that's going on, none of it makes any sense. It's just full of plot holes, and it's trying to lead you in a direction, but the only way you can get in that direction is if you're stupid and have to follow them. Yeah.
That's like one of the first things I did was do this in the Thieves Guild.
I mean, Thieves Guild's pretty good. I think Dark Brotherhood is... Honestly, Dark Brotherhood might be the best guild quest line in both games, if we're being completely honest.
I've always heard that Dark Brotherhood was like really good in Oblivion.
It's pretty good in Skyrim too, but I think it's better in Oblivion. It's where Bethesda puts their most that's disturbing shit in their game. So, I remember the Fighters Guild is kind of bleh in Oblivion. I think actually the Fighters Guild might be. I know it's not technically the Fighters Guild, but it's also technically the Fighters Guild in Skyrim. I think it might be better in Skyrim than Oblivion.
Well, with the werewolves.
Yeah. And I can't remember what it is. Aren't they just like, I don't know, they're on some fucking drug or some shit. And it's like, oh no. They're outcompeting us by using performance-enhancing drugs. That's compelling.
Yeah, you gotta remember all those Congress steroid reports.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say the Mages Guild is better in Skyrim too. Like, just if you're brushing the outlines, like I think Skyrim makes a lot of their NPCs useless, so the player actually has something to do. But I kind of like the broad brushstrokes of the Mages Guild questline in Skyrim better too. So, I mean, if you're itching for some Elder Scrolls, put this on your list and pick it up when the price is right. I think it's, you know what? We never got a PS3 trophy list for Oblivion, the original version, but we got it now. Same thing. You can play it over with a little bit more stability and better graphics. And oh my god, they got rid of that fucking awful leveling system. Yes, let's admit that leveling system was fucking bad. It was fucking bad. And I swear your skills just level up faster now. There's no way I hit like 80 alteration and 100 destruction in one fucking day playing the old fucking Oblivion fucking like progression rates. That just did not happen. So, I mean, I don't know how much Oblivion you've played before, Greg, but some of those skills leveled up fucking slow.
I beat it.
You could,
don't remember leveling everything up, but
yeah,
I remember swimming into walls.
You aren't ridiculous. My athletics is level 85. Do you know how much time I spent swimming into walls, Greg?
Yeah.
0.
I would set that thing swimming into walls and then just go do like mow the yard or something, you know.
0. I have swam into 0 walls so far.
Yeah,
I'm going to max that shit without having to swim into walls. Granted, I made it major skill because this is the biggest thing that's still weird to me every time I look at my stat screen. So what you would do in the old Oblivion is you would put skills, not necessarily that were good as your major skills, but skills that you could control, right? Yeah. You are never going to accidentally level up block. You are only going to level that up when you have a shield and you're using it. So that would be an okay candidate for a major skill, because you wanted to control exactly when you leveled up. And you would never put athletics or acrobatics as a major skill, because you're going to want to jump sometimes, you know? You're going to want to run somewhere. Like, these aren't things you can just ignore. Maybe you're gonna want to buy something from a merchant. Don't put fucking mercantile there. That'll fuck you up. And if you level up the wrong thing at the wrong time, well, then you've either got to fucking waste skill points that could have been spent towards the level, or try to find some other skill that had the same attribute synergy to level up as well. It was a pain in the ass. This game, I have all the worst skills as my major skills. Everything I don't want to spend time leveling up. I've got mercantile, I've got speechcraft, I've got restoration, I've got athletics, I've got acrobatics.
Is that just because when you do those skills, I said you get better level ups from them?
Well, no, because I want them to level faster. And it doesn't matter when I level. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's so much. You would have to play it to believe how much smoother the experience is now that they've changed that one thing. Like, we can't debate this anymore. You might like it because it's ticky-tacky, but I wrote a guide on the shit, and if I'm sitting here saying it makes the game so much better to get that fucking level up system yoke off your back, I think I have some. I think I have some grounds to talk about it. The other game I was working on, probably the worst kept secret ever, Expedition 33. We got a code for it. I beat the game, got all the way through it. It's getting rave reviews. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay.
You also gave rave reviews to Dragon Age.
Dragon Age is better.
Dragon Age is better than Expedition 33?
I had more fun on, here's the thing. Expedition 33 has higher high points and way, way, way lower low points. And you can gauge this being on a personal subjective thing, and it probably is, but I will say there are two massive crippling things that destroyed my enjoyment for Expedition 33. One, and you go ahead and roll your eyes here, but they tainted that game with Soul's Filth. They did. It's absolutely a fact. They have scaling on their weapons. They want you to do every fucking encounter with fucking perfect. Here's the thing. I went on a little Facebook post about this. And yes, it was totally inspired by Expedition 33, but this is a trend I've seen a long time in gaming. I'm becoming more and more ambivalent towards action RPGs as time goes on, because I've noticed that action RPGs are comprised of two elements that rarely function well together. and that is the need for action and the ability to actually do RPG stuff, like plan out builds and whatnot. And if your game has a lot of emphasis on like the quality of your gear, your party composition, your build, all that shit, then the action part tends to become redundant. It tends to become moot. Look at Fallout 4, for example. That's an action RPG. But if you get an explosive combat shotgun, your aim doesn't fucking matter anymore. As long as you are pointing the gun.
Well, not every game has these options.
I'm not saying that. As long as you're pointing the gun in approximate direction of an enemy, you will win the fight. On the other hand, you've got games like Expedition 33 where you can win pretty much every fight in the game if you just know how to press R1 at the right time. That's it. That's all it takes.
Like parrying?
Yes.
So you can say that about any Souls game, probably.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like them. Because I like the thinky stuff more. I like the planning, I like the builds, I like the grinding, I like the gear. I don't like the get good, and that's also just like a professional standpoint. It's a lot harder to write a guide that tells people press R1 at the right time than it is to say, use this character, buy this skill, get this accessory, go farm this weapon, etc., etc., etc. And so Expedition 30, like, I played through most of the first 2 acts trying to parry everything. That probably was a mistake. Dodging is a lot easier to do, but parrying is really strong in some circumstances. The thing that Expedition 33 does, it's not like you have to press the button right once, right, when an enemy attacks. Some enemies will attack 10 different times. I'm not joking. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's only a 5-hit combo every time they get a turn. Now, if you're fighting 3 enemies, and assuming they don't have a lot more agility than you, so they're not getting multiple turns in a row on you, they could be attacking 20 times, and you've got to hit that R1 button right every single time. And this just kind of turns the thinking, the strategic, the planning, the builds part of the game into a, this matters only if you fuck up. And that's not what I play RPGs for. That's a personal thing, but it was...
I can't wait to try it out just because of the reviews.
It was not a minor issue. It was the whole fucking game. It was annoying. I don't want that shit in a turn-based game, alright? If I wanted that shit, I'd play something like fucking Bloodborne, right?
A fantastic game.
The second thing, the story did not stick the landing. And I'm not going to go into any more details than that, but there's a reason why Planescape Torment is one of the best narrative RPGs in gaming history, and it remains at or near the top of that mountain. Expedition 33 isn't knocking it off, in my humble opinion. Sticking the landing after telling a story like that is a huge deal. It did not come close to sticking the landing. So
yeah, that's the type of thing that you can say and one has no idea.
Play it and find out. You can give your own opinion. This is my opinion.
Yeah, that's really the only way.
And it'll be a couple of months, and you will play it, and we will talk about it, and we'll see how things go.
Investigations, like no crowns. Why do you have investigations with no crowns? What are you doing?
Because some people might want the materials, Greg.
Stupid.
Now, that said, the game has an absolutely amazing OST. It's got great art design. The characters are good. It's got some nice twists in it.
No annoying child characters?
The most annoying child character is like a 16-year-old named Mael, and she's kind of annoying, but she's also like the best DPS in the game, and she's not like annoying in a way that really bugs me. I will say this. A lot of people gush about the character being voiced by Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
I don't... She's
What's
fine.
What's wrong with Shadowheart?
No, she's fine. It's a fine character.
When you say gush, you mean they're happy with it. They love it.
Yeah, but I don't dislike Shadowheart, but she was like maybe the 4th best character in that game, like party member. I don't get why people goon over her so much. I get it.
Well,
the fucking
compared to like Astarion, I mean, goddamn.
Astarion, Karlach, yeah. She was better than Gale. She was better than what's his fucking face? No, I'm damning with faint praise here. What's the name of that fucking Warlock? Will, yeah.
Yeah.
She's better than him. But
that's the chunk of my week as I've been back into Baldur's Gate 3. Finally.
Yeah.
I've
About time.
I finished my additions for Act 1 and Act 2.
Oh.
And I've got a save right before Act 3, and I'm on it.
I was gonna say
I'm on the precipice of new content.
I was gonna say you should bring me in on that project. I don't know how to fix shit, but I'd have to start a whole new playthrough. I'm nowhere close to Act 3, so that's...
It's still, like, even with my additions, like, my additions are great, but the whole thing...
Not to toot your own horn.
To be frank, the whole thing needs a fucking... I'm not doing an entire fucking rewrite, and it kind of needs it.
Howard, I will do an entire rewrite.
The pacing and the pacing of the guide itself could use some help.
I will do an entire rewrite.
That's a huge amount of work.
I'll tell Howard I will do a rewrite.
Yeah. So what I've basically done is I've gone through what's there and added in the surefire can't miss fucking. You should get these things and these story beats. Like, don't miss these.
You know what?
Like the dude he didn't get Lathander's blood weapon, for example, right? Like how do you miss that? How do you miss that?
There's an entire area. The whole dungeon is devoted to that.
Yeah, but it's easy for us to sit here and say that. I don't know when this guy wrote it. I don't know. It was probably day 1. I don't know.
Okay.
But for Act 2, like I've already done the Act 1 stuff and I've told you about it. The biggest things in Act 2 that I added, I feel, are because I'm just gonna spoil. Like, who cares? Like, if you don't want to hear it, don't listen. For 2-3 minutes, I'm just gonna describe some Act 2 stuff I added in. I added in the brain puzzle and the mind flare colony. That was completely missed.
You had to add that in? Okay.
It was missed. It wasn't there.
Did you get that noise in the tower?
Yes. The raptors.
Yeah. But
I added in a section basically called Exploring Moonrise Towers Casually, because that wasn't in there at all either. So he missed the +2 strength buff.
Did he miss there's an encounter with some chick who, wants Asterion to, bite her or some shit?
Yeah, that's the +2 strength buff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you convince Asterion that he can, because he doesn't want to do it. He thinks that she smells funny, which is fantastic.
Well, the thing is, he's a vampire and she's looking at him like a piece of meat.
Yeah, and he's sensing her blood, and even when you convince him to do it, when he does it, he throws up immediately afterwards.
Yeah, he throws a tantrum too. If you're in a relationship, he tries to break up with you.
Yeah, and if you're not, he just did major disapproval, basically.
Yeah.
But you get a potion that gives +2 strength to anyone, so that's one of the best things in Act 2.
Sorry, Asterion, bro, you got to take this hit for the team. I'm just sorry. What are you doing?
It's too good of a reward,
right? Look, how about this? You fucking inflict me with vampirism, and I'll bite the bitch. It's +2 to strength. I will become a vampire for that shit. What are we talking about here?
I'll do that for +2 strength. Yeah. That was one of the biggest things he missed. The brain puzzle also gives you a permanent buff, if you remember. It gives you plus... Oh, no. It gives you advantage on intellect saving throws for every party member. Which I know is, pretty circumstantial, but it's permanent, and it's basically free. I added in, a casual way to break the people out of prison. He didn't know that you could go behind their cells and break down the walls.
Oh, by going into the mind flayer stuff under the tower?
No, by going into the prison. If you jump and if you go in the prison, you go in the very back. There's a ledge you can jump up to. You have to use Lazelle's jump ability.
There's a surprising amount of fucking verticality in that game.
Yeah, that you wouldn't think of. But
they want you to use jump and
an entire area
shit.
behind the cells, and each cell there's 2 of them. There's 2 weak walls that you can break down to 1 HP, or you can break them down so low that the next hit will crumble them. And then when you tell the survivors and the gnome guys that they need to escape, they'll hit it once, the walls will break, and then they can all go to the fucking docks back there. And they will take a ship to the Last Light Inn. And you can do all of that without anyone in the tower knowing that you're their allies.
I think if I had to do a Baldur's Gate 3 guide, all over, you know, not with 5 other people ruining my vibe, I think I would copy from one of the best Baldur's Gate guides around, my own, and make a good and evil route where I would have notes about the evil way and the good way to do these things, and pick which one I was going to do for, like,
Well, I found a
different...
silver arc build. That's worthless.
Well, that's not what we need. Pick different routes at each place and quest for the different... Like, I think that would cover... Because everyone, like... I didn't really think too much about it at the time,
Well, see,
but
when I talked about the pacing, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're gonna like... You're either gonna recruit Minthara or you're not, right? You know what I'm talking about. Basically, I know you can do both. I know you can do both.
Yeah, but that came in a patch. When the game first came out, I don't think that was an option.
It was a bug. No, it was. You could do it. It was a bug, I think. Maybe it was a bug introduced later. I don't know. But aesthetically, the game kind of wants you to choose good or evil. You're going to go side with the cultists at the tower, or you're going to go side with the fucking Harpers, right? There's tons of those dichotomies leading up to Act 3.
Yeah.
And more of them when you get there. So that's how I would structure the guide, because you know what? Baldur's Gate 2 does the same fucking thing. And that Baldur's Gate 2 guide I did was very successful, so why wouldn't you do that the same way for the same fucking... Solve the same problem with the same fucking, like, answer. Makes sense to me. But that's just, you know, neither here nor there. That's just would be my impulse if I could go back in time and do it again without being swamped in a bunch of people just trying to write clickbait to fucking... you know, it worked. We got traffic, but...
Well, overall, he did a much better job in Act 2 than he did in Act 1. Missing the brain puzzle and missing the...
But Act 2 is more
potion.
complicated than Act 1.
I say he did a much better job on Act 2 than he did on Act 1.
Maybe...
I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe they...
He also missed some parasites on the docks by the tower. You can get those 2 parasites in the... what's that? Zinthari? Something.
Zentarum.
Zentrum. Yeah, they have a shipping crate on the dock with 2 parasites.
In their hideout in the cave?
No, it's just a shipping crate on the dock.
Oh.
But I mean, that's two level ups basically. Those are probably the 3 biggest things he missed. But overall, not bad at all.
Well, you know, he might have written the first act based on like the early access stuff. Someone said that Greg sounds like my dad. Well, he's someone's dad.
Geez.
I don't think he's your dad, but how old are you? See if we can unravel this mystery.
Yeah, you never know. Could be.
You might have a paternity suit on your hands, young man.
Either way, I'm super excited to get into Act 3. It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. I think Act 3 is kind of the weakest act, but
is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's still good, but Act 1 and 2 are just like some of the best CRPG shit in the history of gaming.
I'm level 9 going into Act 3. What do you think about that?
No, that's pretty good. It's about where you're supposed to be. I don't know if I was even level 9 when I went to Act 3. Maybe, because there's a bunch of transitional stuff you do. I think that's
you're talking before you actually get to the city itself.
Yeah.
Well, that's still considered Act 3, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Probably. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like the stuff with the gift.
I've not played it, so I don't really know, but I've kind of read ahead.
All right.
I don't know.
You get
some sort of celestial mine, or you get some sort of celestial tadpole or something like that.
There's choices to make about what you're gonna do with those fucking tadpoles. Blanganga. So those are the white ones.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'll find out, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean that's all cool. That's all cool. Expedition 33 has sold 2 million units, or was it 1 million or 2 million?
Actually, when I saw the good reviews and I saw GameStop had a Steelbook, I tried to get the Steelbook. And I failed, so whatever.
Did anyone buy a Switch 2 now that the pre-orders went live? No one? Okay.
Yeah. I have a friend from work who got a pre-order in, and I just plan on playing Mario Kart at his house.
I went. I didn't have. I didn't really want to buy it before I got fired, but I definitely don't want to buy it now. So I'm kind of glad in hindsight that it looks like such a giant piece of shit. There's no Fire Emblem, etc., etc. Else I'd be a little extra salty. But I did, and just for the sake of being a professional video game talker about her, when the pre-orders went live, I did add one to a cart in Best Buy and I think it was Target. It was super easy to do. 15 minutes late. I'm sure they're all sold out now, but as far as I can tell, it was way harder to get a launch PlayStation. I've also heard that Nintendo's been sitting there manufacturing these for a while, so they might have just had a good bit of stock, but my personal experience, if you wanted one and knew roughly the time shit was going to happen and you were paying attention, you have one. Except for
I mean they're gonna be coming out for months and months and months and months. If they finally do get a Fire Emblem or something physical that's worthy, we'll see.
Yeah. One person was not able to get a Switch 2. Pour one out for DSP, who decided he was going to make content out of his purchasing of a fucking console, and unfortunately, that allowed, he bought it on stream, and some of the details of his purchase and account were visible to everybody.
You're this DSP guy, I swear. You have such a boner for this guy.
Somebody, this is just funny, a funny thing that somebody called Walmart where he ordered it and got his pre-order canceled. It's just funny. Why are you buying shit on stream? Just, there's going to be order info on there. What are you doing? That's just dumb. This is what makes a lowcow, okay? And talking shit about DSP is extra sore right now because he always made more money than me, but people are still giving him fucking plenty of money, and
he makes more money than all of us, I'm sure.
He makes about as much.
He might make more money than all of us put together.
No, he makes about as much money as you, I think, by e-begging. And I'm a little bit salty that people give him money for the non-tent he produces, but the thing that makes somebody a lowcow, in my opinion, isn't whether they're successful enough. It's not really even whether they crash out or whether they do weird, stupid things. Let's just put it this way. If we had a camera following us all around 24 hours a day, almost all of us would be fucking lowcows. Alright? That's just a fact. The thing that makes us not lowcows is we don't fucking advertise all the weird shit we do all the time. Alright? We can turn shit off. We don't have to broadcast our whole lives on the internet. And some people they have that compulsion. They can't turn it off. They can't help but wave their freak flag in front of everybody. And people they're gonna latch onto that. Cause it's weird, I'll tell you something weird. We have an ant problem right now, right? We're buying poison, whatever. It's gonna work. We have an ant problem every fucking spring. It's something that happens, right? We had a mouse problem last year. We took care of it. We're gonna take care of our ant problem this year. Rebecca...
An ant problem is better than a mouse problem.
Yeah. I mean, you just buy some of those little plastic traps. They're usually fine. Rebecca has a spritzer of alcohol. And she has been using it to spritz the ants when she sees them in large numbers. And it kills them. It kills them really quick. I didn't know that. I didn't pay attention to it. But if I had, a camera around, and I was sitting there doing dishes because I'm just compulsively filming everything in my life, and you saw my wife just sitting there spritzing alcohol on fucking ants so they would die, you'd be like, that's fucking weird. Well, don't advertise it all. This is an example. Don't advertise all the fucking somewhat weird shit you do.
I finally got the Apex Predator trophy.
There you go. No more new Udros. I haven't found you a single crown. So.
Oh, she heard you talking shit, and now she's here.
She was in the bathroom.
Oh,
she came out and said something.
Talking shit.
Oh.
What did he say?
I talked about how you have
talking shit.
I was talking about how you have a spritz bottle of alcohol to kill the ants that are in her house.
It's rubbing alcohol. It's not like vodka.
Well, I know that. I didn't know that shit killed them. It kills them quick, too.
Yeah, it's rubbing alcohol. They breathe through their skin.
Not anymore.
Or exoskeleton.
Yeah. Yeah, not anymore.
So I
Yeah,
just
well said.
go the fuck
That doesn't
offline.
sound like shit talking. The ants aren't my fault.
Because it's Greg trying to stir shit
Am
up,
I
you know.
not allowed to just say things like, what is this? Communist China?
If it was communist China, we'd have public transportation. So no, it's not communist China. It's not that good.
Speaking of communist China, you know those awesome figurines that I keep buying from Temu?
Well, that's
Temu.
done with.
That is done with because I actually got a super discount on a really cool Momo statue, and I was just gonna spend like $20, and yeah, it had $60 worth of tariff on it.
Ah, so I didn't get the Momo statue.
This was a different one than the one.
Oh, okay.
Sold,
So okay.
but it was cool.
So the last purchase I'm gonna get from like Temu is gonna be a Momo statue.
But
Thanks, Trump.
He did it.
He did.
I unlocked some free stuff, so I have some free stuff coming.
Well, they ain't gonna ship it to you. Not with these tariffs. You're out of your mind.
They will.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a refund pending on the thing.
Oh, I haven't checked the bank stuff. I don't want to stomach looking at it anymore.
You can get stuff from local warehouses without that tariff.
Yeah,
You can't buy
until it's
things
all
directly
gone.
from Temu.
Once that
Yeah.
shit's sold out, it's over with. No, man, like this is what I'm saying. Those prices are gonna show up in Walmart soon.
Yeah, because like
So-
almost all of that shit's from China.
You think like a little fucking $5 to $8 Momo statue has $60 of tariffs on it now? Wait until you see what Walmart prices look like in a little bit. Wait until you see it. So there could and probably should be rioting here in the future. We will see how shit goes. But
Society is only 1 to 2 meals away.
yeah, I saw a dystopic fucking article about how like people are using loans to buy for food and paying them back later. And it's like, I wonder how long this system will persist. This seems stable. So
Super.
let's talk about some news. Strategy RPG Super Robot Wars Y will launch for PlayStation 5, Twitch, and PC via Steam on August 28th. Bandai Namco have announced they are the publisher and developer, just different branches. I'm not reading their name twice. You don't get to get read twice just because you're fucking publishing your own shit. Now let me go look at this Harkfeld here. Nintendo Switch Online has added the Game Boy Advance title Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones. This is tied to their expansion pack. You have to pay $50 a year to get it, so fuck them.
It's the advance expansion to the Switch Online.
Yeah, so if they sold this standalone for $10, maybe I'd be interested, but I ain't getting a subscription for a fucking game. You know what? Emulation's looking awfully good right about now.
Yeah.
Publisher Bitworks Games and developer Red Nexus Games will release Pachinko roguelike RPG Penguin for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One on May 1st for $20. Jared says it's Peggle, but better since it's an actual game behind it. But it's a Pachinko game. Why does, like, that ruins any fucking positives it could have. We already talked about...
Have you ever played Peggle?
No, I haven't played Peggle. Are you just saying it's just addictive enough that it doesn't matter if it has Pachinko?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got such a backlog, dude. I don't know.
We need. Speaking of
right now, anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of addicting games, once you're done with your announcements, I've been playing something super addictive.
All right. Bethesda released Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. We already talked about that. It comes with like all the DLC. Does it even come with horse? I think this comes with the horse armor.
They're selling it?
No, it comes with it included, but they also released a new DLC for the game, which you can get with the deluxe edition. If you want to spend $10 more, you can buy it standalone. It's, I think, just like 2 unique sets of armor and some more horse armor. Those garbage. You don't want it. Like, the whole game, if you pay the $60 for the standard version, you're getting like some of the official DLC released later. You're getting Shivering Isles, you're getting Knights of the Nine. You're
That's good, right?
yeah, but it's just so weird. Like, okay, this is one thing I never could wrap my head around when it came to like DLC in video games. I am getting like 100 hours easy worth of content just buying the $50 fucking game. Why the fuck would I spend $10 more for like 2 sets of armor and horse armor? Do you know what percentage of game that is compared to just what I already got for $50? Why would anybody buy that? I don't understand why like no one looks at that and goes, I can get 99.998% of the game for $50. I am not spending another 10 for 0.002% of the game. You're out of your fucking minds. That's just me. I've never been able to wrap my mind around it. Ghost of Yotai will launch for PlayStation 5 on October 2nd. Published for Sony Interactive Entertainment, developer Sucker Punch announced. Pre-orders begin on May 2nd. I saw the collector's edition for this. Kind of looks like shit. And by kind of looks like shit, I mean it doesn't have steelbook, so...
Doesn't have a game either.
Well, you know, I've been told by people that they actually don't mind when it doesn't have a game because then they can just buy the collector's edition and they don't have to worry about what system it's on. And it's like, okay, all right, this is only on PlayStation. You have no fucking choice in the matter. Give me the fucking game. So,
I don't see how you don't include a game in your games collector edition. That seems insulting.
Well, physical game.
yeah. Does it even have a code? I didn't think it even had a code.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So at least you can play something when you buy this. I haven't seen any like collector's editions or anything for that Raidu game. Maybe it won't have any. I'm waiting for the inevitable Persona 4 Golden remake, remaster, whatever. Like, I think we got an update on that webpage, so it's probably coming soon.
I like the one name people threw around, Persona 4 Rewind.
Rewind, review, whatever it is.
I like Rewind a lot too.
So we'll see what they do, but I think that and the Outer Worlds 2 are basically the only things I'm really looking forward to this year. So we'll see how much I can even look forward to it. Total sales for Resident Evil 4 Remake have surpassed 10 million units worldwide, Capcom announced. This is the fastest title in the Resident Evil series to reach this milestone. They're just making so much money with these remakes. The only problem is they can't do it again. At least not anytime soon. So, I mean, they still got Code Veronica. They could remake the original Resident Evil again. I think
Veronica should be the next one.
It should be. But, I mean,
I don't know if it will be, but it should be.
After that, you're kind of just stuck making new Resident Evil games, which are also selling in the multi-millions, so... Not the worst look for Capcom right now, but...
I mean, Capcom's just, between Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, Capcom has a good...
I left myself a note to talk about Expedition 33 and Oblivion. I did. Good job, me. We talked about... Well, this is a little bit old now.
There was something in that Resident Evil 4 announcement that people were thinking...
Oh, Jesus,
oh, yeah, right, because, there's a sign that says, like, thank you, blah, 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 and it's like, looks like a Roman numeral 9 turned on its side. Yeah. I saw people talking about that, and my knee-jerk response was, I bet it fucking doesn't. And then I looked at it and I went, no, that's a 9. That's definitely a 9. But then I also went, was there any doubt that they're making Resident Evil 9? Like, is this a surprise? Hey, no. Greg, did you know that they're going to make another Halo game at some point? I bet you they will.
Not a surprise, but
it's a fun tease.
My gut reaction was also, really?
I mean, it's totally a 9. It's totally a 9. It is. So I'm usually skeptical of fans who are like trying to read the fucking Flight of Birds and fucking find Audreys and shit.
Yeah, like my gut reaction is, oh, this is a bunch of tea leaves.
No, it's totally a 9. Have you seen it?
I have.
Okay, it's totally a 9. So I'm usually, you know, dubious of this too, but it's totally a 9 in this case. They're right. The conspiracy theorists are right on this case. But it's also, you know, the sun will rise tomorrow sort of prediction. Open world action RPG Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon will leave early access and launch for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam on May 23rd. Publisher Awakened Realms and developer Awakened Realms Digital announced. It tricked me into reading it twice because I was reading it faster than I could stop. All right, Greg, what game have you been playing that's super addictive besides Baldur's Gate 3, which is clearly the best game of 2023, right?
I've just been writing for Baldur's Gate. I haven't been playing. What?
I don't know.
You'd be surprised. I have over 100 screenshots.
I have seen your so-called writing for AI, the Somnium Files. You said you had the red route written. I'm looking at the beginning. One, I don't see this ASCII eyeball I was promised, okay?
What?
So, you're a fucking liar. I don't know where this eyeball ended up.
How?
I don't see it.
You're
Where
looking
is
at
it?
a text guide, right?
Yes! A touch guide that was clearly made for GameFAQs.
Yeah, well,
And-
I mean, at the time.
And most of the references are for a game that is not AI, the Somnium Files.
What?
Yeah, you've got fucking like guide stuff that's referring to another Danganronpa.
Oh.
Copying a template, not changing the template to match the new guide. Anyways, some of your walkthrough for the red route is just like 2 words, sentence, 2 words. So it's like these are notes.
Two word sentence.
These are notes. This is not a full guide.
There's some notes. There's some notes in there for sure.
Okay. Some notes.
You don't touch that route. That's my route.
I'm not touching it. I'm just saying, like, I went, like, I had to figure out how Neoseeker worked again. Like, it's been 5 fucking years, so I went and put the, like, guide outline up. I figured out how template navigation was working. I'm figuring out the HTML again. I'm copying off of the Fire Emblem 3 Houses guide, so I remember how everything works.
Oh, so you're copying, huh?
I'm copying myself, right? I can copy myself.
I found the biggest arc build, but I don't know if I need biggest or not. I think I need smallest.
We'll go look.
Yeah, I need smallest. Fuck me.
I put some stuff for blue route up. It turns out that Rebecca is on green route, not blue route, so I don't know why. I just didn't see the green route up there in the corner. But apparently,
let me go look at this AI guide. Okay, the eyeball. So I have section split, and I have my normal banner. It says the Somnium Files with a big T, a big S, a big F.
Oh, let me find this again. Where's this last thing I looked at? I'm trying to figure out how to. They changed how Dropbox looks. Folders. Is this where it is? AI the Somnium Files. There we go. AI guide. Where's this? I see the Somnium Files, table of contents.
Let me
follow me.
up here.
Facebook.com, bkstunt.com, donations, PayPal.
Scroll down. You see the Somnium Files. You see
I
the
see
big
the controller.
T. All right, the very first. Keep going down.
Yeah.
The very first section with actual writing with the TSF there. It says Day 1 Friday eyeball SIG AI. You don't see an eyeball there.
Oh, that? I thought it was like a big ASCII eyeball or something.
It's a little eyeball.
It kind of looks like a surprise pig.
It's an eyeball. Come on, that's an eyeball.
Rebecca. Are you there, woman?
Yeah, I had to unmute.
You want to come here and see if this is an eyeball or a surprise pig?
Let me see
A surprise pig. Oh my god. Well, I did like a snout?
It's got a snout, it's got big old eyes?
A little eyeball. It fits the theme of the game perfectly.
No, it's right there. Is this an eyeball or a surprise pig?
That is not an eyeball.
Oh, come on.
So if you go look at Neoseeker, I've got the template for the guide up. I think I like wrote enough stuff because I'm getting used to this. I wanted to write some text and get some formatting in, so I wrote how to start Blue Route, and that's the only things I posted right now. But Like we're ready. We're ready to start putting stuff up there, so it can be up there putted.
Yeah, it's I haven't touched Somnium in a week,
Yeah,
but
me
I also
neither.
feel like last time I touched it, I did more than I should have. So
What
at least
you finished yellow route, right? Yellow route and red route.
yeah.
Okay, so you're at where I'm at. So I guess you could also do green route, and then you'd have all the routes on that side, and I'd have all the routes on
I
with
mean,
that set off in blue.
I may as well.
All right, tell us about
all
this.
you have to do is tune the TV instead of.
See, we should have known that. Do you need a large crown Blaganga?
Laganga?
Blaganga.
I need both. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a large crown Blaganga here. But
You found a large one?
Yeah. I've got to make sure we're hunting the right one. I don't know which one this is. Okay,
You stupid Balahara. I just found a silver Balahara. Pathetic.
Now, I tried to post a quest and I got attacked by a Blaganga, so...
Are we done with news and going to be starting this soon?
No, Greg's going to tell us about a game he's been playing.
Oh, yeah. So it's free on PlayStation Plus, as far as I know, quote unquote free. You know how that works. But it's called Arcade Paradise. And as far as I can tell, you're a young woman whose dad is ultra successful, has multiple businesses. He gives you a laundromat to run. And while running the laundromat, you find 3 arcade games, like cabinets in the back. And you open the hopper and there's like a few $100 in there in quarters. And you're like, well, I mean, I may as well put these up to play in the laundromat. And from there, you start with like 3 arcade cabinets, right?
Yeah.
From there, you make money, you buy more arcade cabinets, and you slowly transform this laundromat into an arcade business, for lack of better words, I guess. Complete with the funky 80s roller rink floor tiles and like a pool table and jukebox, and it's got that early 90s aesthetic, like nailed down to a T. But every arcade cabinet that you buy and set up, you can play. So you can play, like, you can just spend your entire day playing, like, Outrun, Pac-Man, Dance Dance Revolution, you name it. There's, like, 20 to 25 of these stupid arcade cabinets that I've seen so far. So I've been playing a shit ton of arcade games recently, basically.
But why?
What do you mean, but why?
They're bad. There's
You're
reason.
bad.
There's a reason we left the 80s behind.
My heart still lives in the early 90s.
Oh, Jesus. Well, these aren't early 90s games. I sent in, whatever. Join my quest to hunt this Blaganga.
That's when I was playing these things in roller rinks, early 90s.
Is that not the right Blaganga?
1990 or so.
Oh, shit, I marked the right one.
Did you mark the wrong one?
Yeah, well, there's 2 of them here.
Ooh, that can be tricky. Should I join?
Yeah, join.
Join?
We'll just kill the fucking tempered one and then kill the normal one. It'll be fine.
Alright.
But if we hire...
Weren't you like 5 in 1990?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, 5, 6, something like that.
How the hell were you reaching up to be able to play arcade games?
Stools, man.
Asteroids did not take a lot of brain power.
Well, no, I was playing that as a little baby
I played
child.
Asteroids at a dentist office once on one of those little fucking... it was one of those little vector, like, consoles with a built-in screen. I can't remember what it was. I was like... I thought it was weird at the time, but now I was, like, more time has passed. I'm like, what the fuck was I playing that on? Alright, let's move on to...
I kill the marked target first or something different?
The unmarked one. We're killing the tempered one first. Because apparently I marked the wrong. And the tempered one is the big one. Oops,
Got it. Alright, I'm ready.
He's all angry. Alright, so, well, you know what? I don't think I can just talk about AI Somnium files from memory, but there is something I can talk about. Like, we had the NFL draft. this weekend, and I didn't think there were like that many huge names in the draft.
Well, there's one, at least.
Well, I mean, is he a huge name if he went in the 5th round?
No, but he's a name.
He's a name, and his name is the reason why he fell in the draft. And okay, we're talking about Shadir Sanders, right? Deion Sanders' kid.
Yeah.
The guy who had like one okay season in college, and then the college retired his fucking number. Look, I'm not.
Dad's the coach.
Yeah, I'm not a talent evaluator.
You have to add that part.
Yeah, I'm not a talent evaluator, and frankly, I don't think anybody really is. There are people who get paid to do it, but I've seen enough highly touted guys in college totally fucking fail in the NFL, and like we're gonna get that every fucking year. Because I don't think being like a super athlete is usually good enough. Well, that's the big thing with Deion Sanders is he was just such a crazy athlete.
Oh, I mean, Deion was a freak of nature.
I don't think that exists anymore. I don't exist that anymore.
So talented.
I think the bar has risen so high when it comes to a lot of professional athletics that it's really hard to just be that freak now. Like, there's probably 20 of those freaks now, and at least 5 of them are willing to fucking work for it. So I just don't think being that freak is good enough like it used to be. So, like, Shadir Sanders was, I think, like, the second highest touted quarterback pick in this draft. And I don't know, I don't follow these guys. I'm not in a team that needs a quarterback, so I don't have to sit here and evaluate them. Bold statement, perhaps. But I'm just used to not thinking highly of highly touted college quarterbacks, because aside from Peyton Manning, when's the last time expectation and reality converged?
I mean, Archie Manning is coming up, right?
Yeah, okay, so. Do I think that he's just got... Look, Eli Manning wasn't that fucking good. Alright? And if anything...
Two-time Super Bowl winner, sir.
He was carried by a very fucking good defense, and for some reason, Tom Brady just got spooked every time he played Eli Manning. I don't know what it is. But Eli Manning is not the reason why that team was winning Super Bowls. But I don't think Archie Manning is like a shoo-in to be a Hall of Famer by any means. I don't think anybody is. But people are trying to turn this like Shadir Sanders thing into like an intentional snub by the NFL, comparable to Colin Kaepernick.
Well, just because he's gone through every team is why they're saying that too.
It's like the guy who got drafted first in the NFL draft, correct me if I'm wrong, was also a black quarterback. So I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll find out like some grand conspiracy to humble this one particular braggadocious black quarterback prospect and not another. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure that's what's going on here. I also heard he performed poorly at interviews, and I don't know. I don't know what's in these teams' hearts and minds, but
they probably didn't draft him because his dad banged their wives.
Maybe, but it's just he's sitting there like with fucking his own little booth for accepting the draft. He's got like a bunch of fucking hats that say legendary on it. And I'm just looking at this guy. I'm like, I don't want him anywhere near my fucking team. Stinks of Tim Tebow. Stinks of fucking Johnny Manziel. Like, I don't know. I've learned to not be seduced by top or highly touted quarterback prospects.
Plus, wherever he goes, he's going to be a freaking...
He's going to be a news story. He went to Cleveland with the Browns. Yeah. He's one of their six quarterbacks.
The Browns have a freaking history of
Well, the Browns drafted fucking Johnny Manziel. I just want to read this out to you. You're a what's it called? A Raiders fan, right?
Yeah.
Well, here is the Browns quarterback room as of right now, and you're a Raiders fan, so I want you to tell me if you're jealous or not. Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Shadir Sanders.
I mean, they made for how far down they got him. Whoop-de-doo.
Maybe you can trade him. You know what? Maybe he's bad. You lost a 5th round draft pick.
Yeah, it's not even a big deal.
You know how many 1st round draft picks the Packers have wasted in the past fucking 5 years? Literally all of them. So,
yeah, not a big deal. But I mean, Joe Flacco's probably got to be their guy, right?
Oh, he's the best one on the roster for sure, from what I have seen.
The only thing about the draft that I care about is, did Green Bay also draft Green, or did they mess that opportunity?
They messed that opportunity. They did not draft Green, but I also heard that he had some accusations of the sexual assaulty nature. So,
oh, well, fuck that guy. I only wanted him there because of his name, so they could have green and gold.
Or maybe that was a Johnson guy. Actually, whatever. One of the prospects. There are 3 people.
Johnson couldn't keep his Johnson where.
Maybe, but Johnson also had knee problems, so he had a knee injury, and
probably if he had sexual allegations, he probably got kicked in the knee.
He went really late in the draft, like a lot later than people were expecting. So this is the thing. I don't know ball, right? That's the saying. If you're talking shit on the internet, you don't know ball. I don't know ball. I'm fine. I don't watch college sports. I think watching college sports is like.
What's Green's first name?
I can't remember. It's just people were talking about the last names a lot on the internet and in the articles I read. I have not seen a great correlation between how good players are in college versus how they will be in the NFL. I've heard lots of tales told that the NFL is just a lot faster game. The best player on the other team is the average player in college is now the average player in the NFL. Like, so it's a big step up, and some people have got the attitude to manage it, and others don't. But we will so that's why I don't fret over this shit too much. Oh my god, I'm totally having a brain fart and I forgot how to charge my fucking sword now. There we go. Jesus Christ.
You know what's crazy is that we're actually doing a dynasty draft this year, and I too know nothing about college.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a huge correlation between how well a top, 1 in 1,000 athlete plays against business majors versus how he will play against other top 1 in 100,000 athletes. I think that once you get to that level of competition, you being a genetic freak matters less, and you have to have the right attitude and the right work ethic and a bit of luck, right? You have to have the right coaches, not get hurt, etc., etc., etc. And it's just...
And sometimes be in the right place to get a chance, even.
Yeah. Like, Brett Favre would not have been a Hall of Fame quarterback if he stayed in Atlanta. That's just a fact. They did not want to let him play. He did not have Mike Holmgren. He did not have the coaching staff he had in Green Bay. He would not have been a Hall of Famer if he stayed in. Also, he was drinking himself out of the NFL. It's really bad when you can, say, I was drinking so much in Atlanta, I had to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin to stop partying. I know they don't have nightclubs there, but drinking is literally all those people do. So the draft was held at Green Bay this year, first time in 85 years. They got 600,000 attendees over 3 days, which is pretty good for a city of 100,000 people. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was looking at some of those photos of the draft in Green Bay, and I was sitting there thinking, you know what? Whatever you may think of the Packers, Green Bay, Wisconsin is just the fucking mecca of NFL football. It just is. It just is. The people there have nothing better to do with themselves. That town exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is the Green Bay Packers. So maybe they've got a cheap advantage because there's nothing else in the town, but that still doesn't change the fact that, man, Green Bay, Wisconsin is just the most pure NFL city in the entire fucking world. And the second thing I thought when I was looking at that is, all these motherfucking Polacks that live in Green Bay, Wisconsin are making so much money this week renting out their yards as parking spots. I guarantee you there is not a patch of fucking grass that didn't become a goddamn temporary parking lot in that entire fucking city. So, But yeah, it was nice to see the draft there. It's going to be at Pittsburgh next year. So Pittsburgh, you've got a tall order to show up Green Bay, Wisconsin, but we'll see how you do it, because Pittsburgh's pretty up there when it comes to an NFL city too. All they've got are broken factories and a nice bridge, so not doing too much better than Green Bay. This was a draft pick that people were like, the Packers draft. They were saying, analysts anyways, being the they, their pronouns, pal. That there's a good chance that they would trade out in the first round. And can you imagine how pissy Packers fans would have been if in the first draft, in any of our lifetimes, the Packers didn't draft in the first round? They drafted in the first round, and there were things that I was thinking the Packers needed. They need pass rush really bad. They need a cornerback, because apparently the news is still that the Packers plan to trade Jair Alexander. And they do need wide receivers, because they've got some guys that their contract is coming due, and I'm going to say this. Packers would never have drafted Shadir Sanders because of his personality and his attitude and the drama with his dad. I just don't think Green Bay wants that shit in their fucking locker room. Whether it's a bad choice or a good choice is irrelevant, whether like he becomes a really good player. Packers look at that shit and they go, I don't want that fucking drama in my locker room. That's not to say they don't have drama in their locker room. Romeo Doubs played Antonio Brown last year.
Can't stop drinking and getting in trouble.
Well, no, he didn't do that. Romeo Doubs decided he's not getting the ball enough, so he sat out some practices, and Packers suspended him for a game because of that. And that's a bad fucking sign, because Green Bay does not let their players get away with that shit. Not twice. Also, he had like 2 concussions last year. That's not on him. But if you mix a guy who's fucking missing time because of behavioral issues, and then is getting bit by the injury bug, Romeo Doubs is gone after this year. I'm very, very confident in saying that. That seems like a no-brainer. They're probably going to keep 2 wide receivers right now, it looks like. And Christian Watson towards ACL. He's not going to be back until November. How well will he be able to run, after rehab and surgery? Again, not his fault. But
what position was Green? Linebacker?
I think he was a defensive. I think he was an edge rusher. I think.
Because the only Green I've seen so far is a linebacker.
Was it defensive line? I think it was defensive. I think he's on the defensive line.
The Ravens got him.
Yeah, I think that's the one. So the Packers they need receivers, because they're getting rid of at least 2. Christian Watson might be one of them. It just depends, how well he... And you know what? If Romeo Doubs comes out really, really well next year and is playing, like, top-tier football, I still think he's gone.
Very low chance of that happening.
I still think he's gone, even if he does. Like, if he's on pace for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, I think the Packers try to trade him and be like, no, this is a young stud. Come get him. We'll trade. I think he's gone. I don't think the Packers want him in the locker room. Especially, wide receivers get paid. I don't think they want to pay a guy 10, 20, 30 million to... Yeah, he's not worth that anyways, but...
No.
I don't think they want to risk it and then have, like, one of their playmakers, pouting on the sidelines. That's just... Green Bay doesn't like doing that. So they need wide receivers. Some guys are gone after this year. Watson, Doubs, and...
Green is the one that was accused of sexual assault.
Oh, okay.
Twice. Once in high school and once while he was in the University of Virginia.
Now, I don't want to talk shit about the Packers being, like, purer than driven tundra snow, because they signed that Jaguars kicker that he was accused of doing some shit with a stewardess. So they're I don't know. You mix the injury with the sexual assault stuff, and I think any team's right to be a little bit leery about that. Did you get a crown?
I don't know
Yeah,
about
I sure
the
did.
injury. I didn't see anything about the injury.
Maybe that was Johnson. Maybe I'm getting confused in my head.
Maybe they're separate. The accusation led to him being suspended by the University of Virginia.
Yeah. So I think the Packers keep Reed and Wicks, and I think everybody is potentially gone. It depends on if they're willing to take a sweetheart deal. Reed was drafted in 2023, I think. So He's not due for a contract yet, but they're planning. The only way this draft makes sense for the Packers if they're planning for 2026 instead of 2025. So with the first round pick, they picked Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas. Again, I don't know anything about these dudes. This was a fan-pleasing announcement. It's the first receiver they picked in 23 years in the first round. Aaron Rodgers never got the Packers to pick a wide receiver in the first round. In his career, do you need a giant crown, Arkfeld, or small crown?
Small.
Okay, this is a giant crown.
They seem to be the most available.
Now,
for some reason.
people will cry and talk shit about the Packers not giving Aaron Rodgers a first-round receiver, but they gave him Donald Driver, they gave him Randall Cobb, they gave him Devontae Adams.
Cobb was good.
They gave him Jordy Nelson. It's not
Devontae
like Aaron.
Adams was obviously gold for him.
Yeah, so I mean Jordy Nelson probably second on that list, right behind. Driver's really good too. I think Devontae Adams is clearly the best one they drafted, but none of those are first-round picks. I don't think you really need a first-round pick to get a good receiver. But then again, when you look at like the best receivers every year in the NFL for like the past 20 years, surprisingly few of those guys are like Packers. You know, Packers usually have like two good guys and that's it. They never have like the all-star. The last one they really had was Shannon Sharp, where you'd look at and say he's a contender for one of the best receivers in the league, right? So maybe, and this is with having two Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. So maybe you do need a wide receiver in the first round. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe Golden isn't the guy.
You know what? It would be nice.
It'd be nice, but
if you can construct some shit.
Can you tell me who the Packers drafted at wide receiver first in 2002?
Nah, no.
Okay,
idea.
well, he wasn't fucking Antonio Brown or Randy Moss or fucking, he wasn't that. So clearly this is not a guarantee. Then they picked offensive line. They picked another wide receiver in the third round. So they're trying to give Jordan Love weapons. They're drafting like they think they just need to pick Jordan Love or protect Jordan Love and give him weapons. And it doesn't matter what our defense does. We'll just outscore them. And I hate to say it, that never worked for Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers probably a little bit better than Jordan Love.
I'm looking through this draft list, and there's somebody with the last name Longer Beam.
Longer Bean?
Longer Beam.
Oh.
B-A-M.
A little weird, but okay.
I hope he's a kicker. I hope he's a kicker.
What is he? He's a cornerback.
The best kicker that has ever played in the NFL, and I don't want to hear any talk about stats or reality or facts, Ryan Longwell.
Or reality.
His name was Longwell. That's like Robert Kicksgood. Like that's your kicker. Longwell. Sorry, I love that shit. And then in the like fourth round to seventh round, they pick things that I expect them to pick earlier. Edge, defensive tackle, cornerback, offensive guard. So, you know what? They're probably hoping they got a stud there. Like, Packers' motto for drafting is draft and develop. You look how many fucking guys they've retained to the first contract over the past couple of years. That ain't working. They're not getting a return on investment out of this draft and develop scheme. So, by God, they're keeping up with it, but it hasn't paid off. It hasn't paid off so far. I think last year's draft was really good. We got a really good safety, Edgar and Cooper. We got Evan Williams. We got some guys that look like they're going to play well, but.
Oh yeah, Johnson is the one with the injury.
Okay. So I was just confusing.
You're combining them in the.
Confusing and combining.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad they passed on Green. They need a different Green while they have Golden, so they have.
We had a running back called Green, Amon Green. He was really good for a while.
I know we've had a Green before, but we've never had a Green and a Golden.
We never had a Green and a Golden. Instead, we're going to get Golden Love, and I don't think that plays the same way.
Golden Love.
Sounds like a song from the 70s.
I can't draft Love this year, buddy. Can't do it. He's let me down 2 years in a row.
2 years?
Hey, I would have been just as well off drafting like Baker Mayfield.
Okay, yeah, you would have been just as well off drafting the guy who had the second most touchdowns in the NFL last year. understatement of it, don't you think?
Yeah, well, you led me astray. All you.
We'll see how things go. I don't know if any of these. I don't know if Love's going to make a turn now that, hopefully he's fucking not injured. Hopefully he doesn't get re-injured. I don't know how any of these wide receivers are going to play. I'm a little bit dubious with this draft, but I don't watch the film. I don't interview the guys. I don't even know what the fuck they're supposed to be doing half the time in great detail. You know what? So if Jeff Hafley said, we're good at cornerback, I really want these guys, we can get them late, you know what, I'm willing to defer to his experience and expertise until it proves out that these guys are busts. So we will see how things go. Packers drafted the positions I thought they would. They just didn't draft in the order I thought they would. So
did they
kind
get a
of
cornerback?
silver Suwu.
they picked Baron Sorrell at edge, and he was a really fun story. I'll show you some videos after the podcast when they're in here. He expected to get drafted in the second round. Instead, he got drafted in the fourth round, and he stayed a day later than he planned to, and was in the green room when he was drafted, and so he actually got to go on stage, kind of as a fluke, and then he hammed it up, and he went out in front of Lambeau Field and was leading a "Go Pack Go" chant, and he did a Lambeau leap, and so you know what? I can't help but like the guy. He dropped in the draft more than he thought he would, but he seems to have the right attitude. I can only imagine how many of these fucking kids just go, I don't want to fucking live in Green Bay, fucking Wisconsin. Probably not a lot of them do.
You get free broth and beer for life.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're a fucking 22, 24-year-old dude. You got a bunch of money. Maybe you want to fucking go do something fun.
They can travel?
You ain't doing that in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So
Yeah, they can travel.
you know what? I'm biased in favor of the town of Green Bay. If you want to be a professional football player that focuses on your craft, probably one of the better places to fucking live. There are less temptations there, and it's got a great football culture. So it is what it is. We'll see, but you know what? He was hamming it up afterwards, and I like to see that. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep an eye on Baron Sorrell. Hope he does good. Hope he gets 55 sacks next year.
Sure, why not?
I don't know if that's a good number. Or
I think the record is like 22 or 23 or something. It would be outrageous. Well,
don't be stupid then. Wish him to get 30.
Okay. So yeah, that's you know what? The funny thing is, the people I watched the most during draft coverage, I didn't watch a lot. I watched maybe an hour or two of draft coverage while I was playing Oblivion. YouTube was letting me down big time with the algorithm. I went and started watching an anime because I wasn't being catered to with the YouTube algorithm. I wasn't finding that much interesting. I watched the Paul Farrington show, and they're a bunch of post-college age dudes. They have to be 25, 26 in that range, and they're Vikings fans. But they're chill, and they talk a lot about the NFC North, and it was so funny. They got press passes to go there. They had a table there in the room, not in the draft room, but in the fucking auditorium outside, and they got to go on Lambeau Field and shit, and it was pretty cool seeing them film their stuff. They just do a sports talk show. They seem like they're pretty chill dudes. And they don't do a lot of outrageous drama for clicks. They try to well, one of them's kind of a dumbass, but they acknowledge he's a dumbass, and they just put up with him because he's a friend. He's the Greg of the podcast, right?
Hey.
They mostly try to talk level-headed sports. You watch ESPN, it's all just fucking clickbait drama and bullshit, and unwatchable in my opinion. But they're chill. They actually tell you somewhat grounded takes, and the one dude was walking out in the field and he's like, I think I might become a Packer fan. This is majestic. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's just saying it because he's there. That means nothing.
Lambeau Field is majestic, man. It'll cast a spell on you. It will. It's a fun place to go. I can only imagine what being on the field is actually like. So yeah, just fun draft coverage. I don't put too much stock in this. I think I'm a fairly level-headed sports fan that just is what it is. We'll see how shit goes. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm gonna pay attention to some people and see if they know what they're talking about. Steelers grabbed a quarterback. I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers. The Steelers are drafting like they don't need a quarterback, okay? They were drafting like there's no way they're going like who's their starting quarterback right now?
I thought it was Russell Wilson.
No, he's gone.
Oh, that's right.
They got rid of Justin Fields too. They don't even gotta like not like Justin Fields is gonna take you to the Super Bowl, but he won them 4 games last year, you know, like it would be like if Green Bay traded Jordan Love and they traded Malik Willis and then they drafted a quarterback in like the 4th round. You'd be like, is it? Is this what we're doing? This guy? Like, say what you want about Jordan Love, but he's an NFL starter at least, right? He's not a random fucking mid-round draft pick that no one knows if he can even fucking snap the ball,
Well,
right?
It's time.
What time?
I don't know. Some alarm went off.
But anyone else have any thoughts about the NFL draft? Or am I the only one who really...
Is
really
there
follows?
anyone that is a must draft for a dynasty team that just got drafted?
Yes.
Any rookie must drafts.
Yes.
Are you going to
And?
elaborate?
We don't know who it is.
Oh my god.
We will know in 2 or 3 years who that was, but I'm certain they were there. I'm certain. Okay, look.
You were zero help.
Green Bay Packers signed Xavier McKinney, right? Cover up one of their safety needs. And then they also drafted one of the best fucking rookie safeties in the NFL last year, Edgerrin Cooper. Did you know that Edgerrin Cooper was going to be that fucking good when he got drafted? No. Do you care because it's a defensive player in fantasy football?
That is. Yeah, I mean, I only care about quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs.
Well, you've got to draft Golden to your team, right? You got to draft. You got to triple down. Love and Golden. They're going to take you to a championship again this year. That's how it works.
I didn't win the championship last year.
I thought you were second.
I was second. That's not winning.
That's pretty good. It's got to be Love and Golden. It's got to be. Injured Love takes you to a championship, and now he's got a first-round wide receiver. This is just how this works. I just fucking do whatever you want. I don't care about your fucking football drafts.
How dare you?
I just don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows. I think people think they have ideas, but I don't think anybody knows.
They have to be tested in the water before, you know.
So
that is not how successful gambling works.
Okay, well, yeah, actually it is, because you're just guessing.
Yeah, so put up some guesses.
Well, these aren't guesses. You're asking me for educated shit. There is no educated shit. There are a bunch of young, top-tier athletes whose only competition this year has been business majors, all right? We don't know what they're going to do when they actually have to start playing against men. But we're about to fucking find out here in about 6 months, so... Alright, that'll do it for our NFL coverage. Let's go to the visual novel, which apparently is now a gig. I mean, it was always going to be a gig.
Thank fuck we're getting to it, because my face is starting to really fucking hurt again.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Blue Route?
I didn't do Blue Route.
Or Green Route.
You mean Green Route.
I can go over Red Route, because it was...
He meant Green Route.
I meant Green Route, yeah.
Well, you should have said Green Route.
So Red Route starts off with you interrogating Mayumi, who is Oda's mom, right? She's just the worst fucking liar you've ever seen. She's trying to cover for her idiot fucking son. Man, this route sucks.
She's the worst liar.
I don't want to get too ahead of things, but man, this route was not good.
I went back and I started doing Red Route. Yeah, I played for a while before you killed me with a dog to the face.
I opened her door to wake her up, and Yangus jumped on her face.
Which he knows happens every time, and I told him to stop doing that. So
Oh.
This
stepped
dog,
on my eye and kicked
this
me
dog
in the
is
bridge of my nose.
so love-starved. I don't know why, because he gets attention all the time. That he will wait outside Rebecca's door, and you've got to fend him off so he can't get in there. And I didn't fend him off appropriately.
You never do, and then he always hurts me, and this time was worse than usual.
She was laying the opposite way she normally does on her bed.
Oh yeah, I found out that if I lay with my head at the foot of my bed, then I fucking sleep instead of not sleeping. So.
Sometimes you just gotta change position.
I mean, just make that the head of the bed, right?
Yeah, I suppose I could turn it around, but that mattress is heavy as fuck. Have you ever moved a fucking memory foam mattress?
No.
They're heavy as fuck. They're heavier than a regular mattress.
Also, your room is not doesn't have a lot of space to flip a mattress around.
True.
I really like this interaction between Mayumi and Date. He tried to get her to explain, like, okay, what camera did you use? Where'd you get the setup? How did you stream? She doesn't know any of these questions. I just did. I found them in the trash. She's terrible.
Remember.
She's terrible at this. Did you get this far?
Yeah. I am post interview with Mayumi, and I just went to the diner to talk to Oda.
Okay, well, you're gonna get a lot of spoilers. No, you're gonna get like one, and it's not all that interesting. It's not bad, but it's kind of like...
you told me how the red ends.
No, yeah, but that's not the interesting part. She doesn't seem familiar with the new Cyclops killer, although she did bring up the names of...
She gave some pretty good answers for why she would kill Shoko and Renji.
She brought up their names, which has me go, okay, so you know who these people are. Like, you've got dementia, you can't find your ass with both hands, but you know that Renju runs Lemon Skate and Shoko is, yeah, so...
Well, I mean, she didn't come up with the names. Date specifically asked her, what about Renju? What about Shoko? Why'd you kill them?
But she knew who they were, is what I'm saying. And what they did.
She doesn't fucking like Renju. She seemed pretty upset about fucking Renju. She was like,
because the guy employs a witch.
And she's like, his shit is why boys like my son lose all their money.
No, boys like your son lose their money because they're stupid. Oda's the kind of guy that buys fucking streamer bathwater. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
There's nothing about Renju that caused that.
He has a stash of used panties that he's bought online.
Are you talking from experience, or is that
I'm guessing that would be what he would do. Because that's like a popular thing in Japan, is to buy used panties. They have vending machines that sell used panties.
I don't want to be a prude or anything, but that shit's fucking gross. Sorry. She does claim she killed Renju because he owns the company Iris works for.
And that he's ruining the lives of a lot of young men.
Well, yeah, this is a you problem. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not...
She has dementia. How is she supposed to raise her son any better? He was raised by the internet.
This is on your son. Like, I'm a loser too, but I never gave some fucking streamer fucking money for bathwater or panties or even attention. I don't understand that. And you put that right up there in the, like, paying money for DLC category. I don't understand why you would do it.
Well, unlike most streamer lovers, he's actually met the one.
And she interacts with him. Yeah, he's gotten some positive feedback.
No, he's head and above. He's head and above almost every simp known to man.
It does make sense for him to simp because it's not true, it's not going to happen, but I can see with only a moderate amount of delusion how he thinks he can make this work. So, fair enough to Oda. You are the king of the gooners. Still, if you take this archetype to reality, it does make sense to me why you... If you've got to be that sad, save up money and fucking buy a prostitute, alright? Actually, probably be cheaper than what these
guys like that would actually, like, assume that the prostitute likes them. So
it would absolutely
but at least you're getting something out of it.
Yeah, but it's dangerous for the prostitute.
I'm not talking about the prostitute. I'm talking about what's a better investment for the fucking loser. Alright. Since the chocolate was at the warehouse, boss speculates that Mayumi may have seen the serial killer's face. Then we sink her. The sink machine is broken, so we can't actually sink her yet, and we gotta go do errands. We have to go to Matsushita Diner to search for clues. On the way there, Iba speculates somewhat convincingly that this Iris Ota attack could have been staged by Iris and Ota. This is the first thing I thought. I make a comment here. Did I mention that Iba is smart? Somehow I don't think this is actually going to be the canon case, but she's saying something I said weeks ago, so it has to be worth mentioning. At the diner, you run into Oda. He whines about Date arresting his mom. Oda denies faking and says that his mom isn't the killer, confirms that his dad worked himself to death while Oda was wasting money on PCs and idol concerts. Oda dropped out of college and is a failed writer, can't even get past 5,000 words. What a loser. I've done that in a good day before. Chud. His mom coddles him. That's fair. Oda's sob story about being an angry, abusive loser works on Date. He rules Oda out as the killer and goes back to the warehouse to search for clues again. Didn't work on me. I still don't trust the little shit. But I guess he gets cut in half in another route, so it's probably not him.
What? He gets cut in half?
What?
Did you
Yes.
Did you totally forget everything I said about the green route last time? Him and Iris are cut in half. He is put into the polar bear costume and cut in half.
Although since
goddamn.
after
being stabbed.
I guess I forgot that.
Since that route is clearly not canon, based on the third game, who knows? Who knows? Although I saw Ota, like, they released an English language trailer for the third game, finally, and I watched that, and I saw Ota in there, and I'm like, alright, so I guess he
he's
survives.
in there as well?
He's in there for, like, a split second, but I did see his ass there, so. Canon he lives, canon Iris lives.
Canon Oda.
Kanoda.
At the warehouse, Date finally considers the obvious. How did Mayumi get to the warehouse? Is something I've been wondering for a while, too.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Well, I don't know.
It turned out to be a little less interesting than I thought, but whatever. Iba looks for other cars which were in the area the night of the attack and finds a taxi, which is currently parked at Lemniscate. Like, this part bugged me, alright, because they did something very similar at Bloom Park to find out other cars that were there. That's how they found out that Renju's car was there. Iba took it upon herself to look for, like, payphone calls and shit. That's how I found out that Oda made a payphone call to alert people that Choco was dead at Bloom Park. So Iba has gone out of her way to do this. I don't know why they waited a whole other day to go, you know what? I wonder if there were other cars in the area. Like, who's going to be at a fucking fishing warehouse at night on a Sunday?
Right.
Unless they're up to something. Like, why is this not the first thing you did?
Because
I don't know.
Is fucking stupid.
No, this is a whole failure of the entire police force. Somebody should have done this, is what I'm saying.
I don't get the impression that these police officers are very good at their job. Because every time you talk to them when you're investigating a scene, they're like, I haven't seen any clues. And then there's like 10 clues that you find.
Well, okay.
And like one of them is a blood stain on the ground in front of them.
These normies don't have like an AI in their brain, okay? And like, how is one of the clues in one of the routes not blood on the fucking hook in the warehouse? We didn't notice that? I don't know.
It didn't happen in every other route.
Blood on the hook for me, and I didn't see it. Like, it didn't.
Yeah, how is there no blood on the ground? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. We do more routes.
There's blood on the ground from Ota. There was no blood on the crane hook.
Yeah, so
and even in the one where they both die for me, I don't think there was any blood on the crane hook.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there's an explanation.
Indicate that the forklift was involved somehow, but they never really tied it.
At Lemniscate, you talk to a weird taxi driver with a freakily over-animated mouth. He's quite loquacious. He's one of those guys who has to use like the biggest possible word to describe something common, which doesn't make you seem smart. It just makes you seem tedious. The real I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
Smiling like that fucking face, he's got, like, the only thing he's not doing is, like, licking his lips inappropriately and having weirdly dilated pupils. Like,
Okay, so there's quite a bit after you talk to Oda in the diner, it sounds like.
there's some stuff, yeah.
You were making it sound like there was, like...
There's very little
super short.
interesting. He confirms Mayumi paid him to follow the van with Oda and Iris in it, and he stopped at a convenience store where Mayumi bought the chocolate. He stopped at a different store that Oda and Iris stopped at because he didn't want it to be obvious that he was tailing them. So guy was clearly getting into the spirit of things.
He's done that shit before.
This is more timekeeping. Taxi picked up Mayumi at 10, pursued the van for 30 minutes. Then the van went into a manor. I only know one person in the game who has a manor, so...
Yeah.
So?
And stayed for 10 minutes, then drove 30 minutes to the Kawasaki district. The driver refused to enter, and him and Mayumi staked out the place. Instead, there's 45 minutes where nobody saw anything. Totally long enough time for somebody to do fucking eye removal surgery on Iris. Just saying. Just saying. If you had to fake something... 45, or sounds like they stopped at So's, also 45 minutes at Kawasaki's, plenty of time to get drugged and have your eye removed. Okay, I didn't say that here. I'm not just talking from memory here. Taxi driver confirms the van stopped at Sajima's. Date goes to investigate. The bodyguards and So are not around, so Date searches So's house. You smell something stank. You x-ray a vase, and you find So's dismembered body inside. So's time of death was between 11 a.m. and noon, ruling out Ota, Iris, and Mayumi. This goes nowhere in this route. We do not find out anything about this. I don't remember.
Oh. You would have... You should have noted that.
You think I would have noted.
If his eye is cut out, then it's the Cyclops killer, although the method of...
He was chopped into pieces. Dude was chum. Okay?
That sounds more like Kamakura type murder than
you would
serial killer murder.
You would cut somebody that much if you were planning to, like, put him in an oven or put him in a drum. So
instead they put him in a vase. But then they don't take that anywhere.
Greg doesn't need an Uthduna.
I'm trying to hunt a small Balahara right now.
Oh, I can look at Balaharas too. Then after this, the Mayumi, the sync machine is working online, so you're like, alright, well, fuck this corpse business, I'm gonna leave this to the real cops, bye, I'm gonna go sync. So you leave So's place, you don't even stay to wait for, like, another cop to come take over the scene, you're just like, I'm gone. I phoned it in, it's good. During the sync, you need to trigger Mayumi's memories by interacting with objects and saying keywords from Mayumi's past. So, a little bit different than the other ones. At least all these things are somewhat unique. There's a lot of
I finally saw the husband's face.
What a weird guy, right?
No sense.
Yeah, when he's actually talking and stuff, he looks weird in that one picture. Like, he looks really weird in that one picture.
They made him, like, not look weird.
No, he looks weird in everything. You're going to see a lot more of him. He's in these memories, talking, and it's like, why do you not look like an anime character? Like, you look like you are a different species. I don't know why.
Why do you look like an alien?
Like, you are a Charlie Brown character in this fucking anime game, and I don't know why.
Yeah, he looks like a Charlie Brown character in the picture. So.
There's a lot of missable stuff in this sync. Date and Aiba start up a dialogue about intuition. And that's just something Date pulls out of his ass and brings up a couple of times going forward. A little bit late in the game to start pushing this as a thing, but it is what it is. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. You relive Oda being an asshole at various ages, Oda getting accepted into college, loan troubles, her husband dying, her husband and Oda giving her gifts. At the hospital, Oda's apparently back on bed rest. I don't know why he was running around the other day. You'd think that if it wasn't a good idea for him to run around, he wouldn't have gotten out of bed in the first place, but he's back in the hospital in bed.
Took him out of bed. Boss
Well,
dropped
yeah, but
him
we didn't
and
make
took
him do
to
any of the other shit. We didn't make him be at his family
You guys
diner
didn't
when
take him back to the hospital.
he was at his family diner when his mom got arrested. So I don't think this is on us.
You guys didn't take him back to the hospital. You guys were just like, peace.
You know what?
We're done walking around in your brain. Good luck.
Considering we didn't even stop to secure the scene at So's residence, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the
come
bad
on.
guys here.
Dante didn't even check on Mizuki for fucking forever. They even are like, now you're finally asking about her?
She'll
like,
be fine.
now.
Okay, Dante isn't a bad dad, but he's not a good dad.
Well, he's not a dad at all. But
Well,
he's
a
terrible
guardian.
guardian.
Yeah, there's probably worse out there. What are we talking about? Yes.
That's true.
Bitch ain't going hungry. He didn't take her into the Yakuza den.
Outright lying to her about
bare
certain things
minimum.
all the time.
Tell me that you...
He's pretty much me as a dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell me you don't fucking act
Yeah,
like
that shit at
Calvin's
the shrine
dad
was
to...
hilarious. I did the shrine thing, and I was
Seriously.
like, that is fucking funny.
You don't lie about shit like that to your kids. Of course you do. That's like the whole reason to have kids. Why would you even have kids if you weren't gonna lie to them about shit?
Cinnamon.
Mayumi thought Oda was a killer because she didn't see somebody else steal the van. That's why she went to do all this crazy shit. She retracts her statement, saw the polar bear pulling out Iris's eye, so my theory of her having it surgically removed and it all being fake, probably not true, unless they got a Yakuza dude to come and do it and dress up as a polar bear, but I don't think that's the case. We'll see. Mayumi's brain is so... We'll see. We'll see. There's at least 3 other routes to play. Mayumi's brain is so rotten that she thinks Oda is still a kid, which is why she brought him chocolate, and that ended up at the warehouse. Oda decides to be less of a useless shithead and help his mom. He's Dante's friend. Mayumi forgot she hates Iris. Oda claims Iris is his girlfriend. Iris is going to be taken out of the ICU soon. Everybody yucks it up. Dante drives into the sunset, and nothing is resolved. This route sucks.
Does it say at the end of it, is there a thing that says, this is locked, to proceed you must play through more of the story?
No!
Oh.
Post-credit scene, replaying the video Iba captured after Dante got bonked, shows that Iris took the floral knife from Mayumi before fleeing with Oda. So, remember how Dante got bonked in the head with the walk when he went to go confront Oda about shit. And you have a scene where Iba is still recording even though Dante's unconscious. You're lying face first on the ground, so you can only see things obliquely. In the reflection of a pan, you see that Mayumi goes to confront Iris, and she's not all there, so Iris just takes the knife out of her hands. And that's what you see at the end of that route. And then I think the boss is talking, and you get more information that another bit of evidence after the credits, further autopsy results on Renju showed that he had Shoko's eyeball in his intestines at the time of death.
Crazy.
So,
Fuck.
there's definitely more shit going on here, but not in this route. And that is the end of the red route.
Fuck.
Oda and Dante BFFs. Nothing really solved. Just Dante driving into the fucking sunset going, well, back to work.
Yeah,
Who
that's
gives
pretty
a
much
shit?
that's pretty much the Oda route.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more I can do here. And it's like, you could solve the case.
So I think this is the route you're intended to do first because it answers nothing. And apparently, on the green route, it tells you do other shit first and then come back.
Yeah. So where we left off,
that'll help for the guide stuff.
Where
So
we
maybe,
where we left off last week was Boss was missing, and so I went to Boss's place to investigate, right, to see if I can figure out where Boss is. Well, I click on everything in the room. Of course, I'm waiting for the computer last because that seems the most likely thing. Of course, when you click on the rug, it says that there's gay manga underneath it.
Boss, you too?
That was relevant.
Nice.
And then, like, finally, I click on... Oh, yeah, he also makes stupid jokes about the stuff he's clicking on.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He goes through the Matryoshka... I can't say that word. The doll.
Matryoshka doll.
Yeah, that. And, like, he opens all of them, and then, like,
you can just say Russian nesting dolls, too, Rebecca.
Yeah, I could, but I couldn't remember that either.
Okay.
And, like, it just says good luck, and he's like, I guess there's no clues here! And, like, he just does that with, like, everything, like, in a very stupid way, and Iba is getting really annoyed at him. But then, like, you click on her computer, Iba has to break into the computer, and she's like, hey, like, around the time that Sosajima was killed, there are some videos on this computer. And then you watch the video. And it shows Boss shooting Sosajima in the head and then walking up to the camera, getting really close to it, and then turning it off. And that's where it ends. And then it says, this is locked. To proceed, you must play through more of the story.
Bullshit!
So, like, there was almost nothing left of my route, which is why I made it most of the way through the other fucking route, the red route.
No, that makes sense.
So
for guide structure, maybe green route has to be placed somewhere else in the guide, because it diverges, I think, at the iris sync, right?
Yeah.
And clearly you can't really do it at that point in the game, so...
You can't finish it. But I would note in the guide that if you don't do the other routes, you won't be able to finish the green route.
Yeah. That's good intro paragraph stuff. All right.
So, there you go. Green route. That was
Well,
the last
Rebecca
one.
got off easy this time.
Yeah.
Greg tells about blue route. No, not blue route. Yellow route.
But I was hoping that more would unlock, but then I got really tired.
So yellow route, you discovered who got, it had the polar bear being hurt, and his blood mixing with Oda's. And
so that's why there's not 2
two
different blood stains.
Yeah, they were together apparently.
Okay.
And so they suspect that the killer has a limp, right? From being injured. And then you go and you get the blood tested. And of course the blood doesn't come back with any results. But you go, after visiting a ton of places, you go back to the warehouse and you find So there, and he limps into his car. And flees. So you and... It's been a while since I played Miyazuki.
Oh, Mizuki, okay.
Go to his manor. You fight a bunch of bodyguards, like 20 of them, right? She uses that pipe that's in her house.
Yeah, I love when it references that pipe. I don't know what she uses this for, but this is Mizuki's favorite pipe.
Yeah,
nothing good.
Yeah, she uses
that's
it to,
totally normal for a 12-year-old
She uses it
girl.
to kick ass, and all she does is jump around and hit people with this pipe. You, on the other hand...
Is there like a bullet thing there, or time? There has to be, if you're getting a fight with
I'm getting there.
Okay.
You, on the other hand, gather all the bodyguards to that, that water with the island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get on the island, you shoot your gun upwards, you use a line bullet, because you know how you have the different types of bullets. And then there's a thunderstorm, and the fucking thunder hits your line that's in your gun, and then you throw it into the water, and you electrocute all the bodyguards around you.
That is so stupid.
While Mizuki's dealing with the other half of them, she's literally just jumping over their heads and then smacking them in the back. And she does that like
does it
4
like
or 5
animate
times
this, or
in a
does it
row.
tell you what's happening?
No, it shows it.
Oh, wow. Production values.
And while she's fighting, apparently So gets close to her and drugs her with the mist thing, takes her out, and then he takes her into the manor, and then you go in there, and he's threatening her at gunpoint, right? And then there's the quick time event thing that you can pass. You get a trophy for that. And so he basically tries shooting at her, and you push her out of the way, and his bullet hits Iba. Like, it basically hits you in the head right where Iba is. And you end up shooting him. So you murder So. And then you and Mizuki reconvene together at the hospital.
Well, he had it coming.
And there's a lot of Mizuki telling you how she really feels when she thinks you're, gone. And that is the Mizuki route.
Okay.
So yeah, she really considers you her dad at the end of that, basically.
Well, at least you got an ending. But
yeah,
you don't ever.
You do get a proper ending on this route.
No, you find out that So's the killer.
So is the killer.
Okay, so they confirmed So's the killer, just not that yet. Okay.
Were you listening to
No, I
anything
saw
that
it,
Greg said?
But there's more than one way to get a limp.
That's true. That is true. That's
why
fair.
else would he react the way that he does?
Because
he's
reacted that same way 2 other times.
He revisited the crime scene too.
Key words,
That's true.
Revisited. He had no reason to be there.
Well, he's rich. He has a reason to be everywhere.
No. He has no reason to be at a fishery thing.
Maybe he owns it.
I still strongly feel like this is just a character ending and not the whole story.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Because he's killed in 2 other routes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's killed in that one technically too.
Yeah, and that's like when I saw that in the Oda route when he was in the vase, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And
well, we're getting all the bad endings, or the not true endings out of the way.
Shooting him in the fucking head, like with his eye missing. His eye is missing.
Yeah, and they don't explain that at all. So
no.
Anyway, that's Yellow Route.
Apparently, I have to do a lot more routes to get that.
Yeah. So. Alright, so Blue Route next week. We'll just do day by day, I guess. Will be day 2 Blue Route is what we should try to read. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good on Oblivion here, but we'll see. I might fuck around until like the weekend and then do it. I don't know.
Well, I'll check again after I finish Red Route to see if any more Green Route unlocks. Because that would be... I haven't done any of the other ones, so that would be a clear indicator as to whether or not Red Route unlocks that.
How far into Green Route do you have to play to get to the...
Not that far.
Okay, so it won't take that long.
It's still probably better putting off.
I mean, there's a lot that you do, but... Day 4 is where it ends.
I remember I played a good bit of Yellow Route. I remember, what is it? You have to go to like 5 different places early on, and like none of them have any real leads. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, there are leads throughout the Green Route that lead you to number 89. Yeah,
like in the 2 routes that I've played, it's just you talk to 89 like on day 3, and then you don't hear about him again. So it's
what?
Yeah, it's very
green
weird.
Route?
On the Red Route and the Yellow Route. I think the Yellow Route diverges after 83 or 89 calls you.
Oh, you're talking about the phone call.
So yeah, there's this. They introduced
there's a lot of stuff with 89 in the Green Route.
Well, they introduced this character, and it's like, all right, this goes nowhere. They're making you do all the other endings before you unlock the true ending. This common visual novel stuff here.
Yeah.
That's agreed. Making it sound like the Green Route is the true ending, and it can't possibly be.
You don't know.
'Cause Oda and fucking...
Maybe there's cyborgs in the third game. You don't know.
Maybe.
Oh.
Or maybe the third game takes place before this game or something. Who knows?
No, you literally meet... yeah, who knows. I read something in this Baldur's Gate guide that I thought you would love. There was a line in there about Jaheira and about how much emphasis they were putting on her at the beginning of Act 2 And I don't know who wrote it, but the words were literally, I wonder if Chihira is a previous character from another Baldur's Gate.
What? You wonder? She's the third character who joined. No, never mind. She's the fifth character who joins your party in Baldur's Gate 1.
I read that and I'm like, oh, Nathan would love that.
And she's
in all three.
I think she's like the third character who joins you in Baldur's Gate 3. She joins you in Baldur's Gate 2, I mean. She joins you in Baldur's Gate 2 before you leave the intro room. She joins you in Baldur's Gate 2 before you even get to the first quest area. So, yeah, she's the OG. She joins you before Minx does in the first game, that's for fucking sure. I mean, it depends. You don't have to talk to them, but...
Oh, yeah. Before, like, I forget again. Date has memory loss, so the other games could take place before that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, but it was 5 years ago. Iris would be a lot younger, okay? I don't think she's...
Supposedly, we don't know her real age.
The absolute...
suspects that she's lying.
The absolute most they could swing it is if she's 21 in Somnium Files and, like, 16 in the third game. Although, to be fair...
look how powerful Mizuki is at 12!
To be fair, I'm not saying powerful, I'm saying she's got fully developed secondary sexual features in the third game, so...
Yeah.
She'd have to be...
I had huge tits by the age of 13, so...
I'm just saying...
Here we go, talking about our tits again.
13-year-old titties on this podcast. Always a thing with Rebecca here. But,
I'm saying, like, you can't base, like, her figure on that.
I'm going to assume that she wasn't rocking a bunny costume at the age of 13. Maybe 16, it's Japan after all, but...
Yeah, we were going with the 16.
Then
I'm
again...
saying, though, like, she could have that by then.
Then again, we saw Oda, and he's supposed to be 24 in Somnium Files, and he'd be 19. So that does check out. But we also saw Mizuki. So is she supposed to be 7 and not living with Date, but still wearing the same clothes and looking the same? I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. None of it fucking makes sense, because each route we go down, it gets more confusing.
We'll find out more next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Bridge.
So, but yeah, we will do Blue Route. Hopefully, I will get some more progress done on that guide. But I want to finish Red or Yellow Route and get some more progress in Oblivion. I can only really do the writing in Oblivion because the map people, they haven't done shit. Like, supposed to make a map focused guide, but can't link to anything if you don't got any markers. So
I'm looking at this list of permanent buffs for Act 3. Apparently you can make Asterion a better vampire?
Yeah, you can. That's one of his own personal quest things, so.
This Mirror of Lost seems like it's really good.
I think I'm gonna go back to bed and hopefully wake up without a very painful fucking face.
You want me to let Yangus in there?
You want me to fucking kill you?
Maybe you two can make friends. Kiss and make up.
Let him jump on my face again.
Do you have any of those dogs in there with you?
You will not survive.
Do you have any of those
I have
dogs?
2 dogs in here.
Okay, you have Xan and Joker?
Yes.
Okay.
They're both dead.
I was just wondering. I mean, I'll go back to Oblivion. I'm having fun with Oblivion. You know what? Hindsight, we go back to 2006. Oblivion, I'm not sure it's a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely a 9. Back when it launched, what else was doing what it was doing at that time? Giving you that much world. This is one thing I miss. Now I'm like, I don't want to do quest stuff, because I might have to record quest stuff, and until Saturday morning, I was too lazy to switch the Elgato over and play musical chords. It was a pain in the ass, I knew it would be, but I got it working, so I can do the stuff again, but I was, exploring the map and leveling up and shit like that.
I gave Oblivion a 10 out of 10 back in 2009.
You know what? I accept that. Because I'm playing Oblivion, and, I don't want to get... I don't like the lockpicking minigame. I will admit, I like the Fallout and Skyrim lockpicking minigame better. I can't wrap my brain around it. I know you're supposed to wait for a click, but I hear a click every time that fucking thing. I hear a click every time you press up, and then it snaps back down at whatever. You can get the skeleton key. It's fine. You never have to do that fucking mini game if you don't want to. So I'm not going to give them a demerit for putting in a mini game they don't actually make you play. But I don't want to do that. So I've been using alteration spells to open locks. And it's like, this is so cool that you can just use an alteration spell to open your locks for you. Like, that's what these games used to do. They used to be real sandboxes that just let you solve things multiple ways. And I hope the Elder Scrolls 6, instead of like trying to make it more action-y and shit, I hope they go back to allow you to like make custom spells and to just play through the game the way you want. So you should never have to do any single mini game you don't want to do in an Elder Scrolls game. You should be able to make a potion of fuck this mini game. You should be able to find a fucking artifact of fuck this mini game. You should be able to create a spell of fuck this mini game. You should also just be able to level up your skill in that mini game. Because
potion of fuck this mini game. Yeah, that's a good name for it.
That's a good. You know what? You can name your spells. So maybe you can make a spell in Oblivion that picks master locks and call it spell of fuck that lock picking mini game. I don't know how many characters you get, but you could do that. That's what I'm coming back. It's really making me want to play Skyrim again too. I've got a version of it, at least one that I haven't played yet. It's making me go back and really want to. Making me remember why I love like the Elder Scrolls, right? It's rekindling that love, and it's going to make me very angry when the Elder Scrolls 6 is like not released until 2035. But
and it's absolute dog shit.
It has to be Hammerfell, and I want them to focus more on just giving you a sandbox. Don't make the gameplay tight. You don't need to do action shit. Just let me make a fucking character go off in a direction and solve fucking problems with one of the myriad tools I have at my disposal. That is now, I have crystallized what I want out of the Elder Scrolls 6. I didn't have a strong opinion before, but now I do. Now I want to be able to fucking customize shit. I don't want things to be as neat. I don't want them to be as refined. I don't want the exploits to be removed or patched over. Just make it stupid. Make it stupid. Give me options. Focus on the role playing. That's what I want. So, I mean, like, okay, I want to go back to this too, just very briefly. I said Expedition 33 is fine. I still give it an 8. It's a solid 8. Like, it is not. Its bad parts drag it down, but they don't drag it underwater. So I'm not saying like it's a bad game. It will be a Game of the Year contender. I don't even particularly care if it wins. All right. It's not going to be my Game of the Year. I had more fun with Monster Hunter. But I'm not saying it's bad, although I am curious to see Greg play it and tell me what he thinks of Sticking the Landing. One of those rare fellow souls out there who has played Planescape Torment and recognized the quality of that narrative. It's not even to be expected. How many great games don't stick the landing?
Related in any way to that?
No, it's not. But it's just, Planescape Torment had this mystery you unraveled through the whole game with your past lives and personalities and how they revealed what that was, why that was, and what happens to the Nameless One because of that. I'm sorry, it had a compelling hook and it paid it off. And most games don't actually manage to pay off compelling hooks. Lots of games can set up compelling hooks. Paying them off is very hard in a way that feels earned and justified and makes sense, right? And I think Planescape Torment did that, right? You discover your past lives, that you made a pact with this fucking this hag to give yourself immortality, but it's not perfect. Whenever you die, somebody else just dies in your place, and this is unleashing their souls to gather around an edifice in the astral plane, and or into a pocket plane at least. And these souls are very angry at you that you've stolen their life, and they are becoming organized and sentient, and they're coming after you, and they're now killing you. And when they kill you, it just repeats the process. But now you lose your memories, and so you've got to fix this, right? This whole unnatural immortality you have.
Are you just regurgitating?
What? This is a Planescape Torment story.
Yeah, but
Right?
out of nowhere.
I'm saying it pays off. At the start, you're just an amnesiac who's apparently.
At the start, you're like, yeah, another amnesia.
Yeah,
story.
you've been around the block. You've done bad things in your past lives. Now you're learning, what your past lives were. Not all the time you were evil, but the one past life where you were scheming and you knew what was going on, and you set yourselves traps and treasures, and you were trying to mold things. One of the things you can do is you can challenge that version of yourself to a contest of wills in the Fortress of Regrets at the end of the game. And you've got to have some fucking high-ass stats, or he consumes your ass and takes over. At the end of the game, they're like, no, you can talk to past you who was a fucking Machiavellian genius dickhead, and if you didn't do right, if you didn't have your fucking stats in the right place, he's going to take over, and that's game over. That's an ending for the game.
Yeah, I love it.
Or you can subsume him back into your self-conscious. You can absorb all your past selves. You can defeat the end boss. You can take that back into yourself. And then you can go to hell and start serving your eternal punishment in the Blood War, as you should have done ages ago when you originally died. You are paying back your debts. Your Fortress of Regrets has been conquered. The miasma of souls that you have been fucking stealing the lives from, the Transcendent one, has been reabsorbed and is no longer a threat to anything. You have made good on this. You are free of Ravel, and you are dead. Game over. Brilliant. Excellent. Fantastic. Earned. Set up from the very start. This game does not stick that. The Expedition 33 does not stick the landing like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But that's why Planescape Torment, number one. Not many things even sharing a spot in terms of story and gaming. Put Bioshock close, maybe 1B. But Planescape Torment, 1A. And I think that's all I got to talk about for this episode of the 3G podcast. I might...
I hope I get some Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay in soon.
Well, why would you have to hope? It's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah, all this, life, work, etc., etc.
Writing the AI Somnium files.
Yeah, need to get back on that.
So many things to do, so little time.
Bye.
We'll see. Right now, I don't have any other contracts lined up, so after this week of Oblivion, it'll be as far as I know, it'll be AI and Persona 5. So we'll see how things go. But
I mean, I didn't even get any confirmation it was only a week for me.
that's just what they said. So they haven't sent a contract yet, though. So we'll see. I don't know when they're assuming this week started, but I don't know. So much up in the air. It's just whatever. Day by day. We'll see how things go. But that'll do it for episode, what was this, 440 of the 3G podcast?
440.
Been doing this
What's wrong
forever.
with us?
We got shit to talk about. We love gaming more than we love anything else, apparently. Until next time, see y'all later.
Yep, bye.
See ya.